Shall I unmute myself when I do this? Is that maybe a good one? Welcome everybody, Addicted Podcast number 33. As I said earlier, you couldn't hear me. I muted myself there.
It's normally me doing that, so
it's alright, man. It's alright. It's alright. Miz, what have you done this week?
What have I done this week? I felt like I've been modding for Toby 24 hours a day. He seems to be live like constantly. So I've been watching him stream and mod for him. Joined him a couple of times in Star Citizen. And I've played a little bit of that Citadel Forged with Fire. Give that a go. And stream that for a bit. Seemed okay, but I only did about 3 hours, and then Toby dragged me out of that to go and play some more Star Citizen. So, yeah, I've been doing that really. And that's pretty much. Oh, and I did my painting stream on last Tuesday as well as usual with Desmarius. He seems to be enjoying that, but I think he's away for a couple of weeks now. But that's my week.
Mr. A Little Bit of Madness.
Yes, mate.
How was your week? We've missed you.
It has been very good. I have been doing archery and hanging out with my family and having a really nice break and a chill away from all computer games and pretty much most social media to a degree, as much as you can do. I mean, nowadays there's no such thing as a complete blackout because everywhere you go, the first thing you do is, what's the Wi-Fi code for where I am, please? I think that's literally the first. You drop your bags and then literally you just go, and the Wi-Fi code is, oh, there it is, fantastic. Done. Nice. So yeah, that was. So I've been catching up and just watching some streaming, watching Toby, who seems to be the only Star Citizen streamer these days that I know. He's so consistently live still. So yeah, just catching up on the news, finding out. I mean, trying to avoid the salt is being incredibly fun because it's just almost impossible because there's so much of it. But yeah, just so you know, I will not be really talking about the delay shit this week, okay? Because
he says as he talks about it.
He's done it already.
He's done it already, immediately.
Done. I'm doing it right at the beginning when there's no one around.
That's done. It's finished with. We've talked about it. Move on.
And that's it. We won't be talking about it today. So
very nice. And special guest today, astronaut extraordinaire, Meyer. How are you, dude?
I'm
How
good.
was your week?
How are you? My week has been... Oh, it's been okay. I mean, like, I've been streaming Star Citizen, I think, every single day. Like, I stream that and then kind of move on to other things. So right now, I think I'm in day 33 of my my continuous stream challenge. I want to go to like 42 days, like nonstop, and then see if we can maybe then do another 42 and then another 42. I think that if by like piecing it like into like small segments of 42, it won't seem as daunting as if I was to say a year or 2 years, or it's like Solar, one of the admins on Twitch, has like 10 years stream challenge. I think that just segments of 42 will be a bit better.
10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've recently been dabbling in Elite Dangerous, which is actually pretty neat. I think they're actually getting a new patch sometime within this month or next month as well. And they're going to be bringing in aliens, like the Thargoids. Like people have been like discovering Thargoid bases, and the ones they discovered have started growing and getting larger and stuff. Okay. And yeah, at some point it's going to I guess they're going to move or something, and that's in the next patch. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous, Subnautica, that kind of stuff.
I saw you play Hellblade as well, I think.
Hellblade, my god.
Any good?
Yes.
No.
Hellblade's actually really neat because it's using the Unreal 4 engine, and it's I guess it's a AAA indie. I mean, it's like, I hate that description because it's like you know those like big beer companies that make craft beer, you know, like it's a AAA indie thing. I think there are 20 people who are in the studio, but it's got like a AAA like production quality for their budget. So there are some things that are kind of limited, some things are a bit gimmicky and repetitive because they didn't have that much money in it. But visually, it is stunning. The voice actors are stunning. The performance capture is stunning, and also 3 Lateral had a part in it, so the facial technology within Hellblade is going to be very similar to what we're going to get in Fidelity with Star Citizen. I think you could probably like liken the face of the main character to that of like a Class 1 head or something in Star Citizen. Nice. It looks really good.
I've seen
But-
it. Yeah, it looks great, man.
Yeah, psychological interactive thriller. It's really
Did they do something with the sound as well to make it more like
Yeah.
3D around if you're wearing headphones and stuff?
So again,
is it
it's
a fun game though. Is it a fun game? I mean, it looks great, but is it? A
It
fun
is. It is kind of fun. Again, it's. I would classify it as being a psychological interactive thriller, which basically means that they're almost Kojima-esque long cutscenes and stuff. But that's where you're kind of working towards the cutscenes and the story because it is so beautiful. But the combat is fun. But I guess because they don't really have much to offer you, because again, very small studio, very short production time, things kind of feel repetitive, especially with the combat. And things are a bit contrived with the puzzles, but as a whole package for $12 on GOG, it's pretty decent.
Oh, $12. Well, that is
Yeah.
That's
I got it for
good.
£25 on Steam.
I thought it was like a 40-50 game.
No. It's
So
like
when it's priced right, you don't mind, do you? So much.
exactly,
Uh-huh.
exactly. It's great.
No, that's not.
Very nice. Something to look into, definitely.
Mm.
Myself.
Especially if you're interested in the face tech that we're gonna
Oh
get. and
yeah.
stuff.
Oh,
Is it similar to? Is it from the same creators or input or?
Yes. So I'm not sure if you guys saw like the 3 lateral demonstration they did for Unreal Engine 4, where they actually had Star Citizen faces talking and then meshing and blending within each other. It's that tech that went into Hellblade that is also going into Star Citizen.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's going to be very similar. Although I'm pretty sure that they scanned the actor's face for Hellblade, like for their game. So
Yeah.
like you're not going to say, "Hey, I remember that main character from Hellblade." It's going to be
I'm now playing him.
yeah, exactly.
It's just the animations and not the looks.
It's the tech because
tech, yeah,
in
yeah.
Star Citizen they 3D scanned like employees' heads. They actually made a call to arms for citizens to come and get their heads scanned at the Imaginarium as well. But very few people, went all the way there to do it. So, but we'll see how many people did. But it's all scanned, and the way they've mentioned it'll work in terms of making your character in Star Citizen is that they'll basically blend between different heads. So you find a head you like, and then find another head you kind of like. And then, you can blend in between which one you like the best. Is what they showed us. It might be a bit more nuanced. Though.
Yeah, they said something like they scanned loads and loads of heads. So that's instead of, I think, less like you said, like a slider and more just a part picker.
Yeah.
Mr. Potato Head sort of thing, but with a lot better blending.
You know when you do the studio tour,
Right.
they should literally have like a scanning machine there, so you could go and get yourself
What?
scanned in, so you can actually have your own.
I think
Have yourself like all your settings for your like all like coded or whatever, so that when you go in the game, you can literally have it preset exactly to you.
For a nominal fee.
How good would that be, though?
I think
so
originally what it was, they said that they couldn't cart all the equipment everywhere to do all the scanning, but I think I'm sure on one of the not that recent now because it's been a while, but they had something where they managed to make the tech more portable. I'm sure they said something like that, so they did manage to get more heads that way, but I can't. Don't hold me to that, but I'm sure.
I'm not sure if it'd ever be feasible tech in the first place. Well, I mean, it's feasible tech, but I don't think they'd be able to do it for our game unless you want to have literally thousands of terabytes of heads because
everybody.
They have the head scans down to the dimples. I mean, if you scroll in the director cam to the character we have right now, you can see everything. And I think we actually saw him in ATV a couple weeks ago, and I was like, this guy looks familiar. I recognize that dimple.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy, the level of detail. That's one of the first things I do when we had the director cam. I zoomed right in, and it's like you go right to the eye, and you can see all the bloodshot eye and everything. I was looking at it going, what? Really?
He's I had pink eye.
all the spots and stuff.
Yeah, it
all
was
the,
crazy detail.
hair follicles.
Nice.
It's incredible.
It's gonna be interesting, guys. We're gonna get some great stuff when it comes to these facial tags in Star Citizen. Most definitely.
Is it ever in doubt though with Star Citizen though? They
No.
never fail to deliver, in my opinion. Apart from asteroids, which are weird kind of watery vehicles that kind of float around when you actually land on them. Other than that, everything else is superb.
So next patch, they're going to be implementing for the first time their procedural asteroid tech as well. And that's going to be also visible and testable in Dying Star. I don't think they mentioned it going to be available in Broken Moon. But for the first time, Dying Star, every single time you play it, it's going to look slightly different because the asteroids are going to be different.
Kind of moving around a bit.
That'll make it a bit more interesting.
It's just what you need, isn't it, really? We all die enough to asteroids. So now asteroids are now actually moving
Get good
Towards
Get
you.
good.
And what they need to do is make it a bit bigger. Just make the space. It'll be
I
nice
don't
if
think it's about-
expanded the arena a bit more, just a little bit.
I think we found the reason why Albon doesn't play Arena Commander, because there's
suck at
asteroids there.
asteroids.
He needs a
Suck
blank
at
open
asteroids.
space, you know what I mean?
I do. No, I've actually, well, yeah, I've changed my key bindings and I've been adapting my my game. I've been practicing so that I can actually try and jump into Arena Commander now more. Try and tighten that up and improve my speed, reactions, and move towards dual joysticks, pedals for the next coming patch. So I've kind of just said I'm going to go for it and try some new things. I suck at the moment, so anyone comes to fight me, good luck, because you probably I absolutely suck. I mean,
Is it because you didn't play for 2 weeks?
it's because that is a bit of it. I'm a bit about rusty, but I just literally just keep blacking out because I've changed it so my key now when I hit my afterburner, it switches off my G safe. So it means I can turn harder and faster. But because they haven't really, in my opinion, they still haven't got the mechanics and the animations yet properly for when you pass out, either get rid of it or improve it. Because if, say, for example, I don't know if you guys have got Hornets. Have any of you guys got a Hornet?
I've flown one before.
Yeah. So, okay, just stick a Hornet into kind of a side strafe, hit the afterburner with the G safe off. You tell me when you think you're going to pass out. You can. It literally is just like...
It just passed out instantly. Yeah.
There's just there's no tell. There's no like kind of like, oh, the screen's bloodening up, and then it's. I mean, that could be real. I don't know. I've never been in a situation where I'm suddenly G-force. I've seen some videos of some people in airplanes kind of go woo and then pass out. I don't know what it feels like.
G-force though, because like in other ones you do pass out slowly. You don't pass out completely, do you?
If you're doing, but no, it's the maneuver. So in other ships, yes, you're right, and in other maneuver, like in the Hornet, if you just did an upward strafe or kind of go up and then try and hit it, your blood rushes to you, obviously down to your legs, and you see the slow redding, and then it kind of goes funny, and then the screen kind of closes. It just seems to be on that side strafe one when you hit it, and if anyone here flies sabers and stuff a lot, the side strafe is pretty much all you're doing.
My God.
So it's the same problem. It's exactly the same thing. Side strafing, and suddenly you're just like. Knocked out cold, and it's like, oh, if you're going to have it in there, you just give us a little bit more of either a longer time just to know that it's coming. Personally, I think they should get rid of it. I don't think it really adds anything to space battle. I think they should
Immersion, fidelity.
It's not, on a planet when there's gravity, then maybe, but you've got dampening fields and then all this shit in space. I mean, we're already pulling ridiculous G's anyway. So
That's true, yeah.
Suddenly, this little extra bit of G is suddenly like, oh, it's tipped me over. It's tipped me over, this little bit of G. So,
well, someone made a good point about that as well, because if you've got like co-pilots or say someone standing in the back of your ship, obviously not in the Hornet, but like, do they black out as well, or like because you have like the stabilizers in the cargo thing, they don't start blacking out, do they? If you're standing in the cargo,
I think eventually, like what might happen is that they will do. I think that's the goal, to have like crew and members of your crew also feeling what's happening when the pilot moves and stuff. Wow. I don't think we'll ever get to the point where somebody who's walking around in the back of a Starfarer when the pilot then like pulls a pitch is going to like slam on the roof or anything. But I think your character might, like move or go, like almost Star Trek-y,
Would we have
it would lean to the left, turn to the cameras.
But isn't it a bit odd if your pilot blacks out, but they wouldn't? Would you expect them to black out as well?
Well, everyone should.
Question.
In theory, if you pull it,
that's what I mean. Like you're on about fidelity, and that it's like surely the whole ship needs to go.
Yeah, everyone just
there'll be a few deaths in the back as they just like black out.
Blacking out.
Technically speaking, like if you were in like a long ship, like a Bengal, and you were to just like yaw to the side, the pilot would just be moving slightly, but the back of the ship should be going whoosh. So you actually die. So
just smashed against the wall. Like, it's like what's the
Don't we have gravity generators in the ships as well?
They do that in They do that in the movies, though. They do that in the movies.
But then if you've got that, then how does that not protect the pilot as well? That's, I suppose, the argument. It's like, if it works on the back, then won't you use that tech on the front for the pilot? It doesn't make sense otherwise.
The most important person is the pilot. You don't want to
everyone's in the ship going, well, we're fine, but the pilot's fucked at the moment.
Who's flying the plane? Oh, the plane's flying the ship. Oh, my God. Yeah, this is what I mean. I think it needs to be looked at again. I think I personally would quite happy to get rid of it. just have it on planet only where there's gravity planets where you pull a maneuver, go up. But then they're not running out of fuel. They're hovering. These ships have got anti-gravity, so they're able to stay off the ground. They can hover, right? They don't.
Certain ships do.
Which ones?
Well, anything that has was it like maglev or gravlev tech? Like the Dragonfly, they're not going to like crash down when the pilot passes out, because even when the ship is off, it's still going to be floating. Things like a Constellation, though, it has like the atmospheric fans to keep itself online, but when your pilot passes out, I guess you'll still hover. It's an interesting question. I'm not sure if every single ship is going to have atmospheric fans. We know things like the Aurora do. If you like damage an Aurora, it has those fans that just like they spin really fast when you're in space doing gosh knows what, but like they're meant to keep you stabilized when you're in atmosphere. So a Gladius doesn't have that. If a Gladius pilot passes out, it's just going to go or what? We don't know.
Don't mention
interesting
the
to see.
Gladius.
We don't want that. We don't want that. I think it's the size of the ship as well, man. Is coming back on what we just said. A Gladius won't have a gravity generator because it's a one-seater. A bigger ship like a Caterpillar maybe, or a Starfarer, that would be a higher possibility of having a gravity generator in those ships. You know what I mean? Especially cargo, walking through the hull, etc. And I have to thank you, by the way, Madness, because I was going completely out of my mind. I was passing out every time in my ship. And I was like, how come I'm passing out every time in my ship? While you were here on my birthday, you changed the keys around. And I was like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? But I now know why. And I have to thank you for that, man.
You're welcome. Yeah, because I key binded your keys together and I tweaked, didn't I?
Tweak them.
I tweaked
Very
them a
nice.
little bit, make them a bit more challenging. But it is very much to do with, if anyone knows, you're in a dogfight situation. If you can get around and turn quicker and faster, means you can get your pips onto someone faster. So those few seconds of being able to turn quicker and harder than the other person makes a huge difference in a dogfight.
Makes a very big difference, definitely.
So that's why, for me, the passing out thing. Just give us a bit more clues. Feedback of some kind would be great.
So speaking of, with dogfighting in 3.0, we know we're going to be getting things like the trails. We're going to be getting what else? I mean, hopefully they actually, with the whole addressing of the netcode, will actually get the ability to. I mean, I don't know if you guys get this too, but the thing that drives me up the wall the most is like, let's say you're using the Pyroburst shotguns, right? Is that what they're called? The Pyroburst or Pyroburst?
Yes, I think
Pyroburst
so.
suck at the moment.
Yeah. They are amazing in single player. Single player Vandal Swarm, you're flying, you shoot once, boom, something like Little King is dead in 2 shots. But you take it to online multiplayer, you shoot, the pips are aligned perfectly and it goes through the character. And hopefully they get that fixed, it's
they
just
with the
depressing.
netcode mode, with the net. I mean, if you go into Arena Commander, I've said this before to other people, and I've had people come into my stream, and I've had people come on to other people's streams. We've gone into Arena Commander and then done dogfighting outside of the PU, and fights are finishing in seconds. It's literally seconds because the guns are registering. It's like butter. There's nothing missing. There's no desync. There's nothing like that. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Right.
So to answer your question, the Pyroburst will be awesome in 3.0 if it was to be exactly the same as it is now in terms of the weapons and the DPS and everything. I don't think it will be, because they'll be balancing out a lot of these weapons, because if they do get the frames to a situation where we're getting 60 frames and it is like butter, and it is like, I don't think it will be, guys, I'm just saying, if it did get to I don't believe if it does get to butter, fights will be over even quicker than they are now. I mean, and people I could kill freelancers pretty quickly and stuff, so people will be complaining a lot faster, I think, in the PU if we can kill things as quickly. So they're going to be changing the guns. The DPS is going to be changed. We've got a whole new set of armaments coming in as well. Plus, we have new ships coming in, components coming in. So it's going to be fascinating, Maya, to see if the Pyroblast are going to be awesome, if it's going to be, if the broadswords come back in a way, because they were really good in 2.5, they're shit in 2.6, but the tarantulas have remained consistent between the 2 patches. The Panthers are fantastic in Arena Commander, but iffy-ish. They're good depending on the pilot in PU. They're probably better in a sense because you could just spray loads. I could talk about this shit for ages, mate. You should stop.
I'm just listening. I'm like,
Yeah. I could talk about this for ages, but we'll wait and see. I'm very interested to see what they do with torpedoes as well.
They need to.
I think that's a big one. That's a very big one, you know.
Very interesting. To see what
Do
they
you
do
guys
with
think we're going to see new metas for guns, as we have now a little bit with the Rattler and the
Maybe.
forever. I think they're going to be changing stuff all the time.
Of course.
For other stuff, with the Delta Patcher, I think it'll be more frequent that we'll see tweaks and touch-ups to guns. Especially if the gun is more overpowered. If the Hurricane comes in and it's super over OP and wrecking everything in seconds, they'll have to tweak something.
Well, they're always going to be tweaking it. I mean,
Well,
they're
the
miles
Delta
off.
Patcher is going to be tweaked. Better, faster, stronger, harder.
It's something we discussed on Saturday, though, Meyer. They have not yet explained to us, and that's not a nice thing to talk about. Yeah, they haven't really explained to us what they're going to do with the Delta Patcher. Are they going to use it the same way as they use it now, or
What
will
do you
we
mean?
get updates once or twice in a month, or 2 months, 3 months waiting, or are they going to use it maybe that we're going to patch drop on a weekly basis? They haven't really said anything about how they're going to do it, right?
Right. So the basic principle of the Delta Patcher is, as I'm sure you know, that once it's there and it's implemented, when they do a patch, basically you no longer have to re-download the entire game. You just need to download maybe a few megabytes. So that sets a precedent that whenever there is a change that they want to make, like a hot fix, for instance, I imagine that there are so many things that they have fixed that are issues that aren't game breaking, but they're annoying, like the ship orbs and stuff like that you see in the hangar and stuff.
Yeah, I looked at that again today. They're still there.
Yeah, they could probably fix them. That bug's been there for 2 years now, but they haven't done it. They haven't fixed it, probably because even if it's done, because it would cost so much money to do. Now with the Delta Patcher, let's say now that gives them the option, at least now, to do hot fixes like they used to for when there were much few citizens, back in build 1. Back then they did do hot fixes, so now they can bring that back. Now, let's say they want to give us a new ship or something, we're no longer having to wait for 3.0. I mean, the Aurora has been done. Actually, I take that back. They actually took that back into a thing to fix the landing pads of the spring. But the Dragonfly has been done for a while now.
Ages,
that kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. So I guess.
Do we think they're going to drop updates when they're needed and when they can, or do you think they're going to keep using it as they do it now, but then without the fact that we have to download a complete new game with each patch? I hope personally that they're going to use it and bring us updates on a weekly or monthly or on a when needed basis. You know what I mean? Bi-weekly.
When you do, so when you're in Evocati and they're doing the patches, they sometimes did 2 builds a day. But generally it was almost like every morning you'd wake up and there'd be a new build on there. So the fact that they did that in the Evocati build because they're fixing stuff, I think we're going to see maybe not daily builds, but you'll definitely maybe, if it's fixed enough, they'll just release something like weekly if it's worth it. Otherwise, if it's a couple of small things, they may well save a few up, because otherwise people will also, I'm patching every bloody day. So they'll probably hold some of it back. But I think we'll still see, if it's significant enough, I think we'll probably see at least weekly or fortnightly, something like that. Just even if you won't notice what they are, like Maya says, I think there'll be like hot fixes, stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's going to be, I think, for us as players, it's going to be a lot of fun, man, because we might be, we're not waiting like we're doing now, for example, for 3.0. We're like, this week a cool patch dropped, it added this in, or it added that in, or it fixed this, or it fixed that. And I think for us, as a game experience, as an alpha experience, it's going to make it even more beautiful, because they can even faster implement things, maybe faster break things again as well, but it's a lot more interaction, I think, with the playable build.
We need to wait and see. I'm very interested to see. I think it was someone mentioned it somewhere where I was watching something about, we don't really know. It'd be interesting to see what CIG's plans are for the Delta Patcher. Do you know what I mean? Because we're all making assumptions based on obviously previous Delta Patches. For example, like Player Unknown. Where every other day I wake up and there's a new update. And I'm just, but that's because it's an incredibly popular game. Thousands of people are playing.
I was on about Evocati as well, which is.
Yeah.
Doesn't.
Yeah, and I'm just curious if they will once it obviously gets live and stuff, what their plan is for the Delta patch, how it's going to affect the schedule, how it's going to affect the naming of all these patches and stuff. Because I think from what I understand, they've said before that in theory it might not change as much as we think it will do. There'll still be quite long gaps between drops and stuff.
At the very least, the Delta patch will give them the option to do whatever they want to do. Like if they want to do like a hot patch or a micro patch, or if they then want to maybe then just say every month, here is the latest edition, or here is what's ready now, you know? I mean,
I think
if they do more patches like that, it's more work for them because, of course, this game, even though it's an alpha, it's only alpha by name. Like when the reason why 3.0 is taking so long is because they want to polish it to a state where a third party can come in. When I say third party, I mean like somebody who's not currently a backer can come in and go, wow, this game is great, because like there's so much like media attention to this game as an alpha right now that if they release it with gray boxed items and that kind of stuff, people will flip because because the media already has not given starters in a good run. Only very recently they've been a bit more balanced and that kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah,
I think I've seen a lot of early access games like Ark and stuff, which are getting like weekly. So what I think we're more likely to get is hot fixes, little patches that will do little fixes. I think content that's different. I do think that's still going to be more periodic because if you're going to stick a new ship in, that's not just a case of let's just stick that in. QA has to have that. It's probably going to have to go to maybe because they're still probably going to have an Evocati build because you stick that ship in again, that's going to break stuff like it's doing now. That's what's happening with 3.0. So those sort of fixes, they can't go in because it's actually adding new content. So I think big things like that are probably still going to be held off. We'd probably like to see hot fixes, and maybe a lot of that might not be even things that we will notice. It will just be stuff in the background. So don't get too excited thinking, we're going to get new content weekly. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's just going to be we'll get some hopefully hot fixes and things that are breaking the game currently will get fixed a bit quicker, rather than waiting forever for it.
You know what it is, and a good example is, remember that we had the bug smashers with the shotgun animation where it reloaded before you shot, or where the recoil came before you even pressed the button, for example. Those things we know they've been fixed for months now, but they haven't been implemented yet because we haven't had a similar thing to a Delta patcher. So it would be nice to see. There are so many things that have been fixed in between now and 2-3 months ago, or when after 2.6. That they can implement a lot faster, obviously, than they would do before. You know, it's going to be amazing, though. You know, it's like bug smashers. We've seen this, and 2 weeks later we got it. Maybe 2 weeks later we got it instead of waiting for 3.1, 3.2, or newer builds. You look very surprised, Manes.
No, well, I just don't start. I was about to say I'm trying to remain salt free.
Yeah, you are remaining salt free today.
It's really difficult right now.
Being well behaved,
Being very well behaved. When you say bug smashers and bugs, I was just like, but they always do the bugs that we like. Come on, like we were just saying. What about the bugs we've seen for years? And I think we were talking about the orb one. I was just realizing. I was thinking the reason they probably have never fixed that is because they've always had like a long-term plan for the HUD texture and the HUDs. Yeah. So they've just gone, fuck that. It's a waste of time because we're always changing we're changing the whole thing anyway. So.
I think in a few ATVs back, they said that literally every single ship has changed because of the item port system. So I think all that will have affected the UI and the interface and everything else. So it wasn't worth them spending the time on it.
Yeah, I think bottom line with the Delta patcher, I think what I expect is so I agree entirely with Miz here. So bottom line, I feel like its existence is going to give us hopefully a more stable game, but it's not going to give us more content more often. Because again, the more stuff you add, the more stuff you break. However, the Delta patcher will allow them to say, we fixed that, fixed, done. So we'll probably still have the same kind of development schedule for stuff, unless like some rudimentary arbitrary features get added in, like say they change the way Olisar looks, or like they added a new Benny's machine or something. But if they're adding entirely new mechanics, like we finally added the whole scanning majiggy for the Herald and stuff, then maybe that'll be for an actual content patch where Evocati can come in and fix it, and that can help.
I think it will help. It will be probably more impactful for Evocati, rather in the sense that they will be spending a lot more time with a lot of new stuff compared to us lot, probably playing with things early and fixing things, because they'll probably have, hey, guess what, guys, we've got the Hurricane to test. Here we go. Can you check? We'll chuck in Evocati. on the Delta patcher. You guys can download it and check it for bugs and whatever else. Do you know what I mean? So I get the feeling that they will. That's what they'll get to do.
Yeah, definitely.
So I was looking around, like the classic Reddit, the salt mine that is Reddit. Yesterday, and I was looking around a few different things, and I noticed that we have a sneak peek. The sneak peek was to do with the customs checkpoint at Levski. And so they were saying that Levski has no UE law, but it does have its own law.
Right.
And so they did like, I mean, they've talked about this before on like several months ago. They showed us like the custom stuff, and then they showed us it again recently. And I was a bit like, how is this a sneak peek? I
brought it up for you guys, by the way. It's the picture that we had from Welcome to Levski as well.
I was just kind of like, it was literally all they've done is just show us the gates, added a bit more, a sign that says customs now, and they've added a few people standing there looking at each other.
I mean, like, it's an engine, so like you can see how pretty the game looks. Okay, all right.
I just struggling with what was the sneak peek about this. I was like, we've already. I mean, maybe I'm just more informed than some people. I don't know. Maybe I just actually pay attention to. Previously, I was like, this.
But we haven't seen this, have we? We haven't seen
this exact same angle. We know that Levski's in though. We saw the bugs. We saw some we saw some QA like driving Aruba there.
We've seen this customs. We've seen this without the people in it. But we've seen the Welcome to Levski. We've seen the custom side. We've seen these gates. We've seen that. I was like, what's new? I really, honestly, I was really surprised. I was like, why is that a sneak peek? You guys can tell me what's new about that.
I like it though, Manus.
I'm not
like
saying it. I just was like, what's new about it? What's so?
Before we had just the static picture of the custom sports, and remember, and you and myself, I've been on it. I've hammered on the feeling alive of an area. I don't know if that is in the right way English to say it. Having the feel that the area is alive, having the feel that you're in an area that could really exist, character movements, etc. This brings that what we were talking about a while back into that picture. You have people standing around, you have people checking things, you have someone scrubbing the floor. Just some examples.
The sneak peek is that you're looking at it as like, don't forget they've done, since we've seen the first videos and stuff, they've had lots of lighting passes, atmospheric passes, they've added NPCs, and so the sneak peek it's not saying it's new, it's a sneak peek of what you will be playing in or seeing in 3.0, whereas before it was empty or didn't have the lighting mix. I know what you're saying, it's the same, but it's probably different in terms of the lighting effect, more atmosphere, actually sticking. You'll want to keep saying you've seen no NPCs. Now you get to see some NPCs standing there. So
look at the Explorers, sir. Look at the Explorers bespoke Mobi Glass. Can you imagine what the render to texture that looked like? I mean, like that's a different Mobi Glass to normal, right? I mean, like
that's that thin one. Isn't that the new thin one?
Wait, yes. Is that? I'm looking at the on the forum just here, like that thing. Do you reckon that'll be like more information, more? Like
I can see what he means. The green lines, basically, the greenish lines.
That's a monitor. That's a monitor.
Isn't that what they were talking about? Is that weird word? What was it? Digitalia, wow, whatever the hell I kept saying over and over again on AtV, and I think it was Mac was explaining,
like robot balls.
Robot balls, exactly. I can't remember what the word was now, but it was like, so it's a way of showing information within the game. So
diegetic.
That's the one, diegetic.
Oh, the word.
Well, that's what that is. So that's what that information is supposed to show. I think the diegetic information. So it's other players can see your health statistics by looking at your forearm. So we haven't seen that before, but
it might be a nice implementation for a medic as well. You know what I mean? That was what I was thinking about. And I think of Dr. Drones. It's always talking, I want to become a medic, a doctor, that sort of stuff.
Dr. Drones as a medic.
Dr. Drones, yes.
Mr. Here's a grenade for breakfast.
He's a fighting doctor. You know what I mean? But as in that sort of gameplay, talking immersion and fidelity, you know what I mean? I think that's something that's really cool, because you bring a soldier into a medic bay and you can immediately see what his issues are, probably, you know what I mean? Or in the bigger lines, you can see what was going on with him. I think that's pretty cool. That brings an extra dimension into the gameplay, you know? Most definitely. This is one from Madness, I think, the Reddit one. Read the small print, Madness. You put this one in, I imagine?
Yeah, it is. It says primary objectives. It was just something that was quite funny. I thought it was really interesting. It says,
Right.
Kill everyone, leave no survivors, even yourself.
Always remember to read the fine print.
This is just, again, it's a reminder to everybody. I like the fact that they do this stuff. It's just to say, hang on a minute, guys, don't take everything as gospel that's written or on these things. Because
there is another panel somewhere else as well where it's going Iski, Whiskey, Bisky, something like that. All, like a big, massive paragraph of all weird talk on there as well. It's real. It's a mission in the game. You've got to go around singing this weird rhyme.
Look at the mission underneath. I mean,
hospitalized Barry, it says.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I don't know what we're going to do with Barry.
Don't kill him. Hospitalize him.
Maybe it's Toby they were talking about. Get rid of the polar bear.
Very nice, very nice. The Carrick one, haven't we seen that one before, Madness?
This is just, I wanted to have the conversation with everybody because I have an Aquila. I wanna buy the Carrick because I think I want to get the better of the best kind of exploration ship in theory. This game
is that Quilla upgradable for you? Can you do the same, because you know it's from CIG itself, or
I have no idea. I have no idea yet.
You should be able to.
I should be able to. I don't see why not. I shouldn't be able to upgrade it. At the end of the day, I'm giving them more money, so I don't see why that would be a problem.
He can't gift it. He can't re-gift it.
No, I can't gift it to anybody. But yeah, exactly. And I don't. This is the thing that I must ask them actually this, because if I was to say, okay, I'm not going to do this, but if I ever wanted to fund an entire game, whether they would refund me that prize equivalent value, or if it would be lost in the. Because it was not actually, I didn't pay for it with my own cash. I won it, so I'd be interested to know if I would actually.
They refund you everything that's on your account.
They'll refund you, but I don't think that they'll give him the price of something that somebody gave to him. I think either that'll just poof into the ether, or Board Game will be like, I got some more money.
maybe. I didn't even know Board Gamer gave that to me because it just says BritainCon award, so. That's pretty cool.
I imagine that it's from a pool or something, but as far as I was concerned, it was him and everybody else working there to make that event happen.
Oh, very
exactly.
Nice. So yeah, but I want to get it because I'll get the Aquila as a loaner, so I'll be able to enjoy the Aquila for 3.0, and then when eventually the Carrick comes into effect, I'll be able to enjoy that now. And I think it's worth it. I just think, when do we know the sale is on? Do we know that because Carrot last year was on sale? I think it will be on again.
CitizenCon, I think we're going to see a lot of sales again, right? Towards the end of the year.
CitizenCon and holiday sales are anniversary as well.
So I was going to ask you guys, what ships are you going to get?
None.
Okay, so I've been thinking about it. And,
no commitment.
Nothing. I've been a big critic, Album, a couple of weeks back on the show as well. You know, I said I'm not gonna buy anything. But I think sometimes we need to be critic, but let's forget about that. And I'm thinking about it, you know, and the Bano Merchantman is still going to be my main ship at the end of the day. I want to get something in between. Something that I can use in 3.0 that is different than because the loaner for the Bano Merchantman is a Starfarer. I do not want to fly that whale. I don't like it. And I don't know why. So I'm thinking it's going to be something that we can't buy at the moment. You know, I've been thinking, depending on the funds as well, I've been thinking Starliner.
600i, isn't there?
600i might be coming.
I think they should give you a choice,
something.
by the way. They should give you a choice. I thought about this the other day. I think they shouldn't just limit you to, hey, guess what? I've just spent $300 on this game and I only get a Starfarer, which, okay, some people might like the Starfarer, but they should enable you to be able to choose.
It's the equivalent in cargo space, though. That's why they give it to you, I think, in the end of the day.
You should just be able to choose. You should be able to say, okay, here's the equivalent value. Rather than the cargo space, here's the value that you've paid.
You can have any ship up to that.
Yeah, and you can choose between these ones, and you can chop and change them every month. As you
think-
see.
the
I think
thing
it's just
with
something
that is
you
that-
have to code, right?
Yeah, I think that's just the reason they don't is because it's just more work and more work that there's no point them doing. But yeah, it would make sense. You know, you can have any one ship you want up to the value, which would be nice. But I think it would just make more work for them, and it's not worth it.
Yeah. I mean, as for me, and the reason why,
It's not
I mean,
worth it. You've just given them $300.
Yeah.
Bloody worth it, to be honest.
Yeah, you're gonna. Well, no, because you're not buying the ship. You're pledging, and that's part of the rule. Remember? So
Yes, of
no.
course,
It doesn't matter. You can believe what the fuck you want. That's the words they use. That's what it is. You may well be buying the fucking ship, but that's.
I have to agree with
That's what
Miz
it
here,
is.
though. We're
You
buying
know,
into the development of a game. We're getting the ship with it.
Sorry,
That's how I see it. Huh?
Swear on pledge Bible. I swear on my pledge Bible.
No, but
I'm
No,
not
we all
gonna
know
give-
we're buying the ships, but that's how they get around the caveat. By it's not you're not buying the ship. So
Mm. Nah.
I know, but for that kind of money, I mean, you know, you're dropping more money on anything than you would ever drop game wise.
But then, so you're saying, right, I want somebody to come out of his time making this free .0 happen just so I can get a replacement ship for this $300 I spent in.
No, I mean,
spent
No one's
loads of
forcing
money
you to go do it. You're not a knife
Yeah,
pointer.
you're
Oh,
not
okay,
made
I
to do
guess
it.
I'll pledge then.
they should
They shouldn't. They shouldn't.
They should have done it. They should have made it a
Mm.
bit more, had a bit more variety. Was all I'm saying. It's too late
Yeah.
now, but it would have been nice. I think, with hindsight, it would have been nice for them to have implemented.
That's
it.
true. I agree with
Could've
that.
chosen
And they are redoing the website as well. So I mean,
Mm.
like maybe that
Maybe.
might come with extra features and functions. Personally, I'm not getting any new ships. I haven't for a long time, and that's because I understand why you'd want a new ship. Oh, because it's cool. I'd like to have that ship. I'd like to have that ship too. But then again, I stream this game every single day. I understand, buying a ship because, you respect your time. You don't want to have to spend the time grinding for that ship. But in the matter of months, I'll probably have all the ships I ever want anyway, because I'd be playing this game day in, day out, because that's what I do. I'm a streamer. So personally, no ships for me, unless it's for a giveaway or something. But I want to start the game from scratch. I'm going to be not in an MR or an LN. I'm going to be in an Aurora ES, Essential class. And I'm going to work from there. And if that doesn't work for me, I'll be a crewman and work from there. And then I get my ship and then go. I mean, the only big ship that I have is a Cutlass Black. And that's only because I have a referral Gladius, which CCU'd for free, basically, to a Cutlass Black. So I have that for 3.0, so I can experience cargo freighting. Apart from that, I don't have anything else. And I might sell everything I have on my account when the game comes out to buy a whole range of different suits of armor and stuff, and just start off with my ES
Cosmetics.
and some good cash. Exactly, yeah.
Sort of an MMO progression type of thing.
It is an MMO, so
yeah.
I want that progression. I want
Yeah.
my money's worth for Star Citizen. I'm not gonna get every single ship in the game because I don't have the time to game otherwise. I want to do what I paid to get. Each ship is a genre, in my opinion. And people are buying those ships because with their money, their hard-earned money, because when the game comes out, they want to do just that. So do I, but I want to do everything else as well, and I have the time to spend to do that. So it doesn't make sense to me to get everything from the get-go and then just start at that level. I want to start here and get there because I would have anyway. You know what I mean? That's
completely with you on that. There's loads of MMO style games that you play, and you get to the end game, it's end game. There's a group of people that always want to just be at the end game.
Yeah.
And then there's another group where, and I've always been one where I've got to the max level, and I've kind of gone, I know there's raids, I know there's dungeons, but I feel like I'm not leveling up anymore. So I totally get that.
I don't want to be insulting because I know this might come as insulting to some people, even though there's no insult in it. But that's just my warning statement. But I consider people who get these what I call end game ships as being equivalent to people who pay to start off as level 100 in World of Warcraft without having to go from 1 to 100.
You think it's a pay to win thing, and I don't want to put the word in too much because I'm not a big believer in it.
I'm not saying pay to win at all. I'm just saying it's
pay to save time.
Yeah, it's paying to save time. And this is something that Total Biscuit, John Bain, has harped on for ages about new games nowadays. not respecting your time. You can go ahead and you can do that content you want. You're not paying to basically say, I am now at the top of my game. You're paying to get level 100. There are still 10 levels to go, and then there's also end game content. But I want to
you lost.
Start off, then do those extra 10 levels, then work to make my ship the best. That's just the way I see it.
There's also, I mean, there's like different. So people obviously, the same as we've got different types of ships to give you different gameplay. That's another way people look at it. Some people will not want to start on a small ship and without their gameplay may well be flying the Endeavour and just having a farm. And that's just a different way. Like you said, it's to pay to get these people that play for 100 characters in World of Warcraft. They just want to go straight away and do dungeons. Maybe they're not bothered about climbing the ladder, exploring the world. They might just want to literally port to one dungeon, run through it. I mean, if that's what they enjoy, that's what it is. But for me, you're missing a huge chunk of the game by doing that. But that's their choice, obviously.
I do not completely agree. You know, you guys know I own the Merchantman, but I just like big ships. You know what I mean? I like to fly transporters, and doesn't mean I wouldn't fly my LN, for example, or wouldn't fly a smaller cargo ship. But I think I will. That's going to be my home. That's going to be my base. And I think Miz knows. I play my games because of player housing. That's the fact why I'm playing Final Fantasy 14 at the moment, because the player housing is great. I see my Banu Merchantman as my house. That's the place where I'm going to come back to. I wouldn't necessarily be flying, transporting. I could be sitting on a planet just chilling in my ship. You know what I mean? And talking to people on Discord or on TeamSpeak or something like that. You know.
That's what Chris Roberts wants. The day they talked about it, they want the spaceship to become like a home and to be precious.
RV, as Miss said a while back, I think.
I keep asking for it, but
the RV. You get it on land. Maybe you get it on land. It'd be a land vehicle. They'll just bring it in RV. You can then just it has wings that fold out, and then you can turn it into a spaceship.
If that's what it does, I'll be happy with that. But just give me my motorhome.
And then at the same time, I'm into. I think it's. I like two ways of playing it. Sometimes I like to do the way that Maya says, which is from the beginning, just to learn everything, the basics and the mechanics. But I think by the time this game is out, I'll be well past the basics in terms of playing it. Do you know what I mean? You know, we've been playing it for like 3 years or whatever it is. I think I won't need to be starting an Aurora ES. I think I'll be quite happy to be starting at the level
the Saber
by the time I get there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
are you looking?
I think that's fine. I think it's great. I think it's the best way, especially if you're a streamer as well. I think because you'll have new people who'll be starting at exactly the same place as you, so you'll be able to, you'll be able to take them through.
It gives you a lot more content to create. That's what
exactly. Yeah. And I think it's something you would do again. Like, I mean, I've got old games that I go back to after not playing them for ages, and then I'll start off at the beginning. But I always remember I usually end up getting very frustrated. This is just me personally. I get very frustrated very quickly, and I kind of go, "Oh, do I have to?" I'll play No Man's Sky today. I started a new character and everything else, and I was sat there going, getting gold. and I was like, and then okay, and then I was sat there going, right, I know there's new content. I want to get to this new content without having to do the old shit that I did previously, because I maxed out my weapon. I had everything maxed out. I had a really good ship. I had all the gear. I completely maxed out the game. And then now I'm starting all over again. And I'm just like, can I just press a button or something where I can just pay to get to exactly the same place I was before? But then, in the same breath, this is the thing. I kind of a bit psycho on this one. In the same breath, I played it a couple months ago when I was at that old level, and it was a bit weird going back into it, slipping. I didn't quite understand the new mechanics. I didn't understand the gameplay. I'd have to go back over it, and so I'm kind of countering myself at the same time as saying it. But I think, sorry, I'm just lost my train.
Well, I think the beauty of this game that's been said quite a lot is there is no end game. And so these people that are buying the big ships, there is also nothing to stop them going, well, I've got this great big ship sitting here, but actually I'm going to go and fly the Aurora. I'm going to go and do some little mini cargo.
Exactly. That's what I'm going to be doing.
It's a nice thing that you can still do. You can go and work your way up with an ult or whatever. You don't have to, just because you got the big ship doesn't mean you can't go backwards.
In my perfect world, we have a hangar or a home where we have multiple ships next to each other, where we can always go back to.
Equally.
I love them all equally. No, but I could be hanging out in my ship and talking to you and think to myself, let's do a small transport mission. I will grab my Freelancer or my Cutlass Black. I will fly out, chill out. My Banner Merchantman is sitting safe at base. I come back, I park up again, I hang out with my mates in my hangar. We talk, we chill with stream. You know what I mean? For example, we organize races on planets. That's the things that I think I'm gonna do. And the Merchantman will come out for certain special missions. Where I have to do blockade running, etc., and that sort of things. But for the rest of it, I will be flying other ships a lot more, I think, than the Merchantman. I want that Merchantman static on a planet or static in a hangar where I can always come back to it and maybe do trade deals in it. You know, we've seen the room, the conference room that the Banner Merchantman is going to get, if that is still in the planning. If it's going to Manchester, it's going to be probably 5 times the size. Keep going with this stuff. I love it. But you know, it's for me, it's more a mothership, a how do you call it? You know, for other people that might be an Idris or a Javelin. For me, the Banner Merchantman is going to be that. The biggest of my fleet, so to say, and what coming back on what Matt said earlier, I have been thinking about this Starliner.
The Genesis Starliner.
The Genesis Starliner.
I want a Starliner. That's one of the things.
And I could either build it in game.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Depending how the money is towards CitizenCon, if they're gonna bring it out, I might buy it if the money is good. If not, I will build it in game. It's one of the first things that I want to build in game is a Starliner, and what's the other one? The
Jump.
The jump, the 890 jump. That's something, and I think that's something really cool.
The Genesis Starliner, actually, I don't know how they're going to start selling it because it's meant to be their most modular ship in that you can like change out cabins and like, you know, in ED you have different like cabins. You have like, you know, like economy class cabins, that kind of stuff.
You have 3 classes, I think, in ED.
Yeah, they want that same thing in Star Citizen. I don't know if they want to sell every single class or if it's going to be like, here is the Starliner. It's your job now.
You can extend it,
yeah. But
a bit like the Caterpillar, maybe.
Yeah, I just wanted to like to clarify with my Warcraft analogy. Level 100 isn't the max level; 110 is. So I mean, like starting at 100 and then doing the 10 level. Getting all these big ships now, not as maxing out straight away, but to get to where you want to go and then do that content, because you still need to like upgrade your ship. There's going to be like 5 different grades of weapon and then 5 different classes of grades of component and then 5 different classes on top of that. So that's still all the stuff you can do. But I was just
we keep
losing you a little bit.
Meyer, we keep losing you a little bit. It's both on the video and the audio. Yeah. I don't know if just saying to you.
Clearly, it's pre-recorded by us my section. We just fill in for bio. What's interesting? Oh God, what was I going to say? Completely lost my train of thought again. My brain is. I've been on a holiday. You can tell I've been on a holiday because my brain is just like.
You haven't seen a lot of sun, have you?
But I just like, well, no, because it rained. It was in England. What do you expect?
Yeah, you got a point. You got a point.
I stayed in this country. Oh God, yeah. I'm saying now. Carry on. Sorry. Shame.
Bless you.
Jesus Christ.
But coming back on what.
I was just going to say, Nix has said the same thing. Really, is that you might get the big ship, and I think that's what Maya was trying to say with his analogy. Is you get the big ship, but you still need to have the cash to actually run it and put this
exactly. Yeah, and I think it's going to be a good thing, and the smaller ships are going to help you grind that initial funds. Or capital to get you going with those things. And for the beginning, I'm going to leave that thing nicely in that hangar in the beginning, man. It's going to sit there, look pretty. I will clean it. I will kiss it. I will hug it, and it will stay there for the beginning of time. That passenger transport thing is something that I really want to get into, and I think what Maya says, the modularity. Maya, do you think we're going to be able to walk through those cabins and see the people sitting there and see the different?
Hell yes. Like, how do I sound, by the way? Am I okay now?
You're good. You just freeze up sometimes, and then your camera and your sound, which are 2 different things, completely stop, and a couple of seconds later it starts again. I don't know if that helps you with anything.
The house is very, very busy right now.
No worries, man.
Definitely. When they talked about, have they actually sold the Genesis Starliner with by concept yet or no?
I think they have,
Yeah. So when they brought about the brochures and stuff for the Starliner, they said that you will not just only be the pilot, but you will be able to employ crew, both NPCs and also be yourself. If you wanted to, like, go about with the tray and stuff, taking orders, like working with the mixed masters, like it's gonna be like a mobile game, like like the guy says, "I'd like a slurm with extra patata bada." Then you'd have to like take their order, then go to the machine. You have to press the button for slurm, and then the button for extra patata bada sauce or whatever, and then you'd have to like. Whoa, take it back to them, and then like not make sure to not like throw it on their face. Sorry about that. Like throw it in their face.
Like Diner Dash.
Pretty much. But like that's like a little thing. You also have to like make sure that the entertainment system is running and like it doesn't like malfunction. So you need an engineer on board to be able to fix that. And
do you think it'd just be? I was thinking they were just going to do it so you could plug into, like, for example, Star Marine or Arena Command, and you could plug in directly into that and then play.
I think that that they mentioned that there would be SimPod rooms or whatever within the ship as well for people to get up, stretch their legs, and then go stretch the virtual ones as well. But they showed us with Miles Eckhart the technology they had for like slushing liquids. In that same ATV, they also showed us being able to put drinks and stuff on top of trays and stuff. So they pretty much already have the framework for an air flight host or hostess in their builds or whatever.
I'll keep Astropub happy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Serving drinks.
He's gonna love that.
Well,
So
they'll have locked doors as well for the toilets, won't
you want to become part of the Million Mile High Club? Is that what it is? Yeah.
they? Saying I might see an attractive stewardess and things might happen. You need to make sure they got locked doors that work. I don't want anyone breaking down my locked door. That's for sure. Now that they've got this new locked door, shooting the doors.
I have one rule, Madness, in MMOs. Yeah.
Cheeky smile.
And I have one rule in MMOs, especially with MMOs where you can choose a female and a male character, yeah. Unless I've heard them on TeamSpeak or Discord, it's a man for me. You know what I mean?
What if he's going to hear, "Hello, Madness, how you doing?
Hello?"
I'll be like,
Have you locked the door?"
So make sure you've spoken to them on the communications before you take them into that.
I don't want to talk to them on the communications. I don't need to ruin the dreams. Keep it at pixels. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you got a point. You got a point.
Let's not ruin the immersion. We need to keep fidelity correct. I pledged for this game. I'm sorry, I'm just throwing all the words.
You pledged for fidelity, yeah.
I need to make sure that everybody. What's it called? The dire something or other bullshit. I swear to God, like we need to ban them. Fancy words. There's this wonderful thing which I'm going to quote in Greece, way back early at the beginning of this, when they were first creating pretty much democracy and stuff. Okay,
yeah,
there was a thing.
Where is this going?
No, it's going to be good. There was a thing where people used to get together, and they banned people from being too articulate and being too clever with the words because they felt that the common man's voice and opinion wasn't heard. And if you were too articulate, you would have at the end of it, they would write the person's name and they would be chucked out of the town.
You what, mate?
So basically, I hate it when people use ridiculously fancy words. It does my nut in because one, I'm shit with words generally, and two, I don't need to spend ages looking through a thesaurus and a fucking dictionary to try and figure out what's saying. Just tell me that it means that someone else can see the HUDs in the game.
I am in concurrence. I do detest when people use overly exuberant dialogue for their discourse.
So there you go. That was my little bone to pick.
Write his name down. Get rid of him.
Coming back on what we said, man. You initiated the fact what ship are you going to buy? So I have in mind what ship you're going to buy a ship. Is that the case?
Well, I have the Cutlass Blue, which I'm really excited for. I think it looks fantastic. I love the new cockpit for that, and I love the Cutlass Black. I think Maya, you've done great to get the referrals and to upgrade to the Cutlass. I think that's a fantastic decision. You've got the right ship. I think anyone here who doesn't have a Cutlass Black should get the Cutlass Black in sale.
I am one referral away from getting that Gladius. One referral away. And I might even buy it myself just for that reason.
Okay, yeah, it's well worth it.
Or my mom. My mom is going to play this game. You know what I mean?
But what I'm interested, like we were saying about the reason why you weren't
going to buy a ship, which was quite interesting. Fine. But yeah, for me, it's like the sale. I'm interested to know what chat, if anyone in chat, are you guys waiting for the 890 jump to come into the concept sales? Are you waiting for any?
It's
more
already
concept
been the
sales?
890 jump,
Or is
right?
anyone, like-
600i, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, apologies.
No,
Sorry.
it's all right. I'm just
600i. Sorry, thank you. Yeah, I've been on holiday. And I'm just kind of like,
in
Where?
the UK.
Did they club you in the
but they did, honestly, Maya,
I forgot to
I
start
was-
it.
I was in the rapids. They've got, like, I was at the Center Parks, wherever it is, and they had like these amazing rapids. I swear to God, I must have bashed my head about 50 times against like all these people. Like, you know what it's like? It's summer holidays, and like everybody and their dog is on holiday. So it's like, you know when you're going into the swimming pool and you're like, oh my God, why did we have to book this holiday at the same time everybody else is off?
Don't go into the swimming pool.
So yeah, I think
No.
I
Water in there.
bashed my head against about 50 people. But yes,
If the water turns blue, run.
Yes, the 600i is exactly what I was thinking. And then also the Saber Raven as well. I'm very excited myself to see what the Saber Raven will be. Because I know that isn't the Eclipse. I've checked, I've looked at some information. Someone has sent me some pictures and old pictures and stuff. And we know that the Saber Raven is definitely something else. So I'm excited about that. But I'd like to get the Carrack first. But I'm wondering what other people want to get. Do people
Carrack's
want
not
to get?
till next year, isn't it? I think.
Beginning of 2018, am I saying that correctly? I think it's a similar time to the Banu Merchantman, or
Soon.
Yeah.
soon.
Hold that to a date, just not this year. Let's put
No.
it that way. So it's the easiest way of saying.
But I said it before. The later the ships come, the better, because
I agree. Yeah.
they if you look at the beginning of time when we only had the smaller ships and where they are now with ship development, ships are getting better and better and better, and obviously they're bringing the other ones up to standard, but I'd rather wait a bit longer for that Banu Merchantman. I want to see what they're going to do with that beauty. I want to see this. Go ahead.
The next thing, because I'm just gonna
You're going to take control, not today.
not today. But
Not
I'm
today.
Just saying, we've got
We got a lot. We got a lot to talk about.
we've
We got a lot to
things
talk
there's
about.
good things to talk about. I know that they talked about the Mobi Glass being the idea of the long term for the Mobi Glass is that it will be able to incorporate virtual reality. And I was wondering, Myra, have you tried virtual reality?
No, unfortunately, it doesn't fit my hat.
And that's
Nice.
a no-go.
Yeah, so you need to design the hat into the virtual reality headset. basically.
It's a hole in the
What I'm
market
saying.
there. We found a hole in the market, Maya. We're
There
going to
we
do
go.
this.
We'll make that happen. But no, I was just wondering, because has anyone here tried it? Because I know Bio has tried it, but I've never got around to trying it.
Are you talking about this thing on your head and how do you call
VR.
it?
Virtual reality.
VR. So I've tried this.
I
Yeah.
was on holiday. You've got no excuse.
No, listen. I do not like it at all. I do not like it at all. And I remember, I think it was about 2.5 years ago. I think we had the second iteration of the Oculus Rift going at that point. You know, you didn't have the Vive yet and that sort of stuff.
Crystal
And
Cove or something, yeah.
yeah, a mate of mine invited me to his house and said, okay, I'll play Elite Dangerous and I do this on one of these VR headsets. So I sat on a chair, I put this VR headset on, he loads up Elite Dangerous. I think it was the first space game that I played at that point as well, because I wasn't really into the space game things. I had Star Citizen, but obviously we only had Hangar back in that period. So I loaded into that thing, the ship went all ways, I didn't know what was up and down, and I basically got sick.
So you're saying that you don't like VR because you tried an alpha VR kit and you hadn't calibrated it for your own personal use.
Yes.
So
Yes.
And if Megan
But-
feels sick, so all the
Um,
blame really is you. So really,
No. But looking on it, I'm more the type of guy. I'm more the type of guy that likes to watch everything on my monitors, and I don't like to have that thing on my head where I'm stuck with that thing on my face. I'm claustrophobic as well, so maybe that might be a reason why this is very uncomfortable for me to have that thing on my face, and I do not have the feel of the room. I just like I'm more old school. I like just looking at monitors, you know what I mean? And I don't mind having 3 monitors that nicely blend in everything, and I can still look around with because I have one of these. How do you call them?
track higher.
Track IRs, and I love that, you know. But I want to have the room around me. I need that open idea. I think that's for me a big bummer on the VR. I wish I could maybe, but I haven't tried the newer ones as well. You're completely right in that, guys. You know.
I don't think you're alone. The VR at the moment, technology wise, it's just until they can really cure the the motion sickness side of it. As for games like Star Citizen, I couldn't do the dogfighting, for example. If I had virtual reality dogfighting, I would be throwing up faster.
Well, that's your pilot throws up too. I mean, have you seen that? When you
Yeah, now you know when you're gonna black out.
Oh, blacking out! Literally, it would just be horrendous. It would be horrendous. So
fidelity.
yeah, real
throwing up in
fidelity.
unison with your character. But I mean, yeah, sure, VR probably isn't there yet. We're only first gen, really.
Yeah.
Gen 2 for some may be coming out later than others, but I mean, I would say that's one of the reasons why I wouldn't get in now, because we're like halfway through the life cycle. I'd rather wait. Track IR is amazing. I mean, because
great.
you have the open plan already. But at the same time, I have seen Star Trek Bridge. I want Star Trek Bridge. It looks so good. Yeah.
It's funny
It
as
looks
fuck as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gamble
for me, I don't know
on shots. It was great.
Yeah, for me, I don't know how, like, a bit like you're saying, it's not so much the technology, but as in having to wear that on your head. Like, if you're playing this game for a long time, I don't know how uncomfortable or whether you feel comfortable wearing
And
it.
how bad it for your eyes is as well, you know?
I wouldn't say it'd be terrible for your eyes, you know? I mean, like, sure, the focusing and stuff. I mean, there are ways around it, for sure. And maybe we'll see those ways around it in Gen 2 or Gen 3. Like, when more companies are starting to make it, more competition will start spurring on more innovation. I mean, I'd like for them to be able to have a mode where, like, you can still have it on, but you can still exercise your eyes, so like you focus far, focus close. I'd like for it so that there'd be a camera on the outside, so I can press a button and see stuff around me. That'd be neat as well, and also not that way I wouldn't have to keep fiddling around with my. This is a Meyer issue, but
no, I think you're probably brainstorming probably all the same stuff that the virtual
exactly, yeah,
all the time. Like, you know, they probably sit in rooms going, you know, can we do it so that you do this and that, and kind of Google-esque thing can make the screen, and then it press a button and it disappears. So they're feeling a bit sick immediately. The sunglasses, you know, glasses back. All this kind of good stuff. I'll wait and see. I think it's a really difficult one because we still can't interface with technology as human, plug in like game Ghost style. I think that's where the real virtual reality will come in, when we can actually plug ourselves into computers.
We're getting close, but probably never that close. I mean, I think Track IR and Tobii Eye Tracker would be amazing. I mean, without even having to have a thing on. I mean, Star Citizen, they are implementing, and tell me when my voice starts to go and I'll try and fix it.
No, it's good. It's been good, man.
But,
don't worry.
Yeah, but they've tried to implement some VR integration simply because VR is the future. And since this game is a game of the future, they need to be able to have at least, you know, the plugs for that kind of thing and to adapt it if it goes in a way that would be beneficial. I mean, it would suck if when Star Citizen goes gold or live or whatever, like next year or the year after, where every other game in the market at the moment also has has VR integration already there. By having those plugs there, I guess it like makes the game a bit more future proof. But we've seen in ATVs and stuff, like, you know, you'd be able to have VR on and look down, and there's a button to like do pre-flight checks and stuff. And I think it's neat. It's not necessary. I don't think they'll make it a necessary thing for you to do, but it'd be neat to be able to do if you wanted to.
I've said it before. The main thing that I think would be a better win straight off the bat is to incorporate your mobile phone and tablets and stuff. In that sense, to have like Mobi glasses. You know, you could have like augmented reality kind of things on your phones, and you could also have just the ability to have your HUD displays on iPads and stuff around you. So you know, flick your switches manually on iPads and stuff like that, and play with things. Have extra.
I think it's a good one, you know, that you have the whole startup sequence on a touchscreen. You know, I think it's great.
Well, they've already done it. If you look at the Mobi Glass pictures, the Mobi Glass literally looks like a freaking. I think it's later down in the thing which we get to later. But there's in the document we've got like I did a screen. There's a picture of, you know, it's like black and white, and it just shows you, and it's literally it's like touch. You know, it's touch, and I was like, it's literally set up to perfectly be on a phone.
I mean, I think we'll probably get that eventually anyway, because I mean, people already got something similar with that Roccat power grid thing, so you can have your tablet on and you can adjust your shields and press the button to change things like that. So it's not really far off of that.
No,
I think peripherals aren't really something that Star Citizen should really think about delving in. They tried to before with I think they should just not. There are so many things that third parties can do for you for Star Citizen anyway, without them having to do a thing. Voice attack is there. Even the freaking Elgato Stream Deck.
I
This
think
is
they
awesome,
they can do better. Again, this comes back to this whole thing about communication and stuff.
Mhm.
You have a good line of communication to third parties, such as ourselves, such as the communities to other people. They
Mhm.
can get better information to deliver stuff without actually having to do a huge amount of work. I think
Yeah.
that's the thing. They could actually make their lives a lot easier by having really good communication to these third parties. I think when we were at BritainCon, the guy, I think Sol was there as well. You know, the guy talked about getting more information so that once they could
I
get.
think we were all there.
Yeah, we were all there. Yeah, exactly. And they can improve
the all the.
I brought up the
So
Pip-Boy for you, by the way, the
we
Mobi Glass.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah.
It would be good to have this thing on a tablet. I think for me, not being that VR kind of guy, and I think with a Track IR, it's a lot easier to do these things. But doing that on an interactive screen that's sitting next to you, but then you get another thing, madness. Then you get like, oh, do I need a tablet to play Star Citizen? You know what I mean?
no, I think it's
a
like again.
bonus.
I think it's like it's if you want a bit more immersion. Again, it's those people that have get the wood and a bit of a soldering iron out, and then they can build their own little desks and slot their iPads in desk or something, and then they've got this easy to make kind of pretend cockpit type of thing that they can put their iPads and touch and play.
Yeah.
Would be
it's
nice.
just- it's,
Would be
it's
nice.
just a bit of fun, and like I said, if you can do it, it's like a sample. You go into the ship and you can have your phone there, and it's a bit gimmicky maybe, but you can kind of press your phone and you can lock your ship. Or mainly for me, it would be more to do trading. If I'm being honest, to build the trading part of the game. So like we see whether you do to customizing your clothes, to buying and selling goods, because you saw on the Mobi Glass there, I think on that one or the other one, where they talk about buying and trading. So it's like if you're at work, for example, I'm not encouraging anyone obviously to be working playing games, but you might you might see a deal. For example, say you're in the trading side of Eve, that shit. And you could see like, oh, I could sell my goods now really, really hot, and it's like they could get their iPad out and just be like, oh, I'm going to sell my shit, or I want to buy this bit of gear on the trade market stuff. I'm really excited. I think that would make it really immersive all the time. It would just add so much more to make the trading side of things compatible with.
Yeah, I mean, community integration is something that's, I guess, pretty big. Maybe a bit less than it was when it was in Kickstarter. They've always said they wanted to be able to allow mods and stuff in the game. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they let some kind of API out for you to make your own kind of applications and stuff that would do that thing for you. I know it's probably just placeholder with the Mobi Glass, but if you look at the Mobi Glass HUD, there is a button for an app store in there. Now, if players could make their own apps for the Mobi Glass, and if those apps would then be able to talk to peripherals, that'd be pretty neat. And that wouldn't require too much effort from CIG. They'd probably just have to okay which apps go into that store. Like I have an Elgato Stream Deck right here, and if it had nested folders, then it would be the perfect device for Star Citizen, because you can make custom buttons to do everything, literally everything. And it's really, really, really neat. It's a small, compact device, and you could make it so that it's the most immersive thing ever. You press a couple buttons, and you're doing everything with that, visual cues, macros, everything. I don't think that CIG really needs to put too much effort into it, but the App Store and that kind of thing and hooks to get into the game that way might be good.
Yes, definitely.
I'm no coder though.
No, well, this is it. I'm no coder.
I do think it's what they wanted to implement. I think when they talked about Spectrum and everybody fell asleep, I think that's kind of some of the stuff that they were talking about, getting it all integrated, being able to have the website in and out of the game, all communicating with itself. Yeah, I agree in some ways. If people are able to do it, it's better to let them work on it. But I think overall, I think we will see that sort of, like I said, we're already getting it slightly with this power grid thing. But going back on the app thing, I think we're talking about it later on the ATV section, but they did say that you'll be able to customize your Mobi Glass. So I think that app store is actually for the apps within game, so that you can change your overall HUD like you would on your phone. So you can drag the shortcuts. So everybody's Mobi Glass shortcuts. So if you're a trader, you might want more trading related information on your Mobi Glass. Whereas if you're a dogfighter, you might want to put stats and things like that on there instead. So that's what I think that app store buttons for.
Well, I think we were talking about. I mean, how much easier and bringing props in, iPads props. I mean, how much when you see like you're flying the ship, the spaceship, for example, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm the guy who's monitoring your power and stuff. How much easier would it be if I could bring up the HUD that I'm meant to be working on in my hands and then I can literally, by my hands, move the power things across, move the triangle across, switch the screens across to switch the. It's so much more fast this way, I think, than just even the mouse and the keyboard. Because I think if you can get your hands onto tactile onto something, I think it just. Oh my god, how much fucking cool would that be? You're like literally looking at your screen, you've got your hands on your pad. Would be so cool.
I think it's a good thing, Madness, but I think it brings security issues with itself again as well for people that want to misuse it.
I think it's a little bit of madness, personally.
Yeah, it's a dream. It's a dream. Right. Moving on. We've got the so we'll ignore the exploration ship part. You can ignore that. The diff checker. Well, the diff checker is the diff checker, right? I mean, we all know.
I'm not going to open up the diff checker if you want it or not.
We all know the score. Things are delayed. It will be here when it's here. So everybody, just deal with it. I mean, I'm not really salty.
You want to talk about the cities, man? Is that something that you put in? Give me a bit of a rundown on that. I've read it. I've looked through it. I find it interesting, and I think I know what you're going to say, but I want you to.
Did I try the Rocket to Prague? No, I haven't. But if any of you guys are on my Discord, please send me the link to it, and I'll check it out.
That's what I keep saying to you. You should try it because what you're saying is possible.
Yeah, which is which is really cool. So this is something I wanted to talk to you guys here and in chat as well about. Now, it's about cities because we know we're going to be getting procedurally generated cities and stuff. So this I put together. We saw a really exciting picture about the Microtech office, which was really cool, in the snowy kind of place, which I thought was sick, with the globes, and I was like, that's fantastic. Really great.
I'll bring them up on screen for you.
Really great piece of concept art. And then we have the internals as well. Can you hear that, by the way? Can you hear hoovering?
Yeah, we can hear the hoovering, yeah.
Yeah, just let me kill my wife a second. Hang on. Right, I think she's fine. Stop now. Randomly hoovering at 11 o'clock at night. So thanks, lover. Love you, darling. We have. She's she's like, there's two people living in this house. I love her.
So, yeah,
we have a nice.
Boss.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, boss. Oh, chain. Hang on, could you just release the chain a little bit, love? I can't quite get to the screen. We've got the Microtech stuff, which I thought was really cool, but then I've added a really great video, a running video down later, which is basically which is very cool. This is like for the background, it's like 4 or 5 minutes of clips from movies and cities and stuff. Now, it's just to inspire people and to get kind of people chatting. I'm interested to know what you guys really want from your apartment, from your vehicle, what type of thing you want to be able to do in cities. Do you want to be able to just go to a bar? Do you want?
What I would like to see, and this is going to. It's
the video. This is we have a nice rolling video, many films.
You want me to put the video on while we discuss it, or?
Yeah. Put a video. It's a long video. It's like 4 minutes, dude. And then I've got another one about Blade Runner, and then another one about Fifth Element. So if none of you guys have seen those videos, just roll through that and then because it's just basically showing the contrast between kind of very futuristic cities. Blade Runner has a very kind of like dirty city, which I really liked. And then Fifth Element had a kind of with the.
So I discussed it earlier. I like to see my ship being used as a mobile command center. Mm-hmm. Next to that, I think you've all seen The Expanse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know this apartment where this dude goes back to for this woman in the first series?
Yeah.
And his own apartment as well. I think they're all very similar. I think they're all boxed off units that are all the same. I love that sort of stuff as well, where you have like a community hub where everyone can meet up. Like, and I've said it before, like a city is like Stormwind in World of Warcraft, Dalaran, where everyone meets up, can talk, as like with our corp we have now, but then integrate the units into there, and you can walk to your hangar or something like that. That's located elsewhere. You know what I mean? That's something that I would really like to see. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that given that Star Citizen is like a game that's meant to have like many different planets from many different solar systems, I don't think we have to worry too much about having like too few thematic planets. I mean, like there's going to be a planet called Saisei, which is basically like a Japanese themed festival planet. I mean, like we already have like the Dust Ball. We already have What is it? We have Yella, which is going to be like Hoth. I mean, like, I don't think that we have to worry too much about what we're not going to get. I think in terms of cities and living and stuff, well, first of all, I think ArcCorp is a nice first attempt, but I hope that they update that to look a bit more realistic, like their truck stops do in terms of how they work, and the fact that all the different like terminals and tubes aren't really connected. It's not really realistic to me, in that you can't get somewhere without having to like go into the into space to get to like from strut A to strut B. I like that in ArcCorp you have the easy hab, like easy habitation pods and stuff. What I would like to see in the future would be, let's say, oh, I have arrived at some other ArcCorp like station, truck stop, or whatever. I'd like to log off here. I'd like to have to go to the front desk, rent a room, and then that's going to be my spawn point and room for the next time I'm online. That's kind of how ArcCorp works right now. When you log on, you're bound to a room, but there is no link. If you're a good guy, you have an ArcCorp room. If you're a bad guy, you have a Grim Hex room. I'd like to be able to have the choice to say, room for one, please. And then I could like customize it. And then if I was to go somewhere else and get a room there, then maybe my customization from the other room
Would bring it over.
Exactly. That'd be
Yeah,
nice.
it's interesting.
Do you think we'll
Very
get
interesting.
trains? We'll get trains.
I think so.
Like a hyper train or something like that.
Like tram lines and things like that.
So,
I mean,
the
you
only,
see the
like-
size of some of these cities, you're gonna need stuff like that. I mean, finding people is gonna be a bitch. Otherwise, it's like, oh, I'm right over there.
I think
Especially
trams and trains are
ArcCorp.
confirmed. Yeah, in ArcCorp especially, they mentioned there was once a map that either got leaked or got posted of ArcCorp and several different key locations within it, not just Area 18. And I'm pretty sure like there's like a train or like some kind of system between them, because you're not a citizen of ArcCorp. You don't you don't have free reign, but you can go to these points of interest. If it wasn't ArcCorp, it was for Terra or something else. But yeah, I think that's confirmed. Actual space trains, that's the Vandal thing. Like a evil bendy bus in space, basically.
The bendy buses. The bendy deadly buses. No, yeah, I'm really excited to see this. I'm really excited because I know that obviously we know that and I've been
You keep breaking up.
Yeah, you need to talk louder, man.
Do I?
Yeah,
Breaking up.
your own how do you call this? Your own thingy is cutting
Noise
you
gate.
out. Your noise gate is cutting you
It's
out.
because I turned.
No, it's what you always do. You're like, and then you go further away.
He goes back
Oh.
as the podcast gets on. He's like,
I
Yeah.
relax. I'm just relaxing, boozing. No,
So in the beginning, you come in high, and then basically
I come in high and then I go away like this. Just
Yeah.
it's because it's getting drunk. That's what it is. No, I'm very excited by the kingship and the Vandals and all the different races. I'd like to know. I'm interested to see the concept artwork. Is there concept
for
artwork
cities
already?
of that of
for
that
the
race.
cities of the main races, that we've got. So the UEE, we've already got an idea of what that's going to be like in.
We've seen Banu. We've seen the Banu city, I
We've
think.
seen the Banu's ship. Have
We've seen the
city?
Banu marketplace. We haven't
Exactly.
seen it, like from outside. Looks like Agrabah from Aladdin.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to have that market, that kind of trading thing going on, isn't it?
The Middle Eastern kind of type of feel, Persian feel,
Persian
yeah.
thing. The UEE is kind of very much. It feels like Earth, kind of like in.
Fans?
Oh God! Yeah, the
Star Trek.
Expanse and Star
yeah,
Trek.
very like futuristic, almost clean. Yeah.
And
I
then-
like that.
And then we've got. I mean, the Xion. Were we thinking they're going to be like more circular, curvy, and kind of like overly type of styling? Or do you think, or
I mean, it's a difficult one, to be honest, because
Teenage
we haven't
Mutant
seen
Ninja Turtle.
anything of it. And I mean, like, human buildings don't look like human vehicles. Like,
Ooh.
my house isn't in the shape of an Audi, like, so it's
Is
it's
it not?
difficult. Nah. But it's a very difficult one because we know that the Xion vehicles are very vertical. Like the Cartual even, I mean, like it's vertical. The capital ships are giant shoeboxes that are vertical like this. Lots of staircases, probably, or elevators. So I don't know. I mean,
but that's interesting. I mean,
they look amphibious, so maybe their home worlds or the worlds that they like to populate are, like you swim everywhere or something.
Underwater.
style. Oh, Jar Jar Binks will be happy.
But I think, the beauty of the Star Citizen is the variation. I think we're going to be seeing everything, and even I think between the human planets, it doesn't mean that you're going to get one style for this is the human habitation. I think it will be different, and that's what they're saying. You can go to Levski and it's all mucky and a bit more grimy, and then you can have like another ArcCorp that's more pristine and clean.
Yeah.
And even within that, you're going to have different styles of architecture and things like that. So I think we're going to just see a lot of different stuff. I hope we will.
I hope so. I mean, they've obviously produced the thing is I think that they have managed to show us how quickly they can produce procedurally generated. That was something people thought was going to be years away, and they did it very quickly. And I'm really excited for the cities.
You think we're going to be able to live there?
Well,
you
think about if they can get the technology right. I mean, if you think of SimCity and these type of kind of games like roller coaster games or whatever else, they've got the tools there. They can build these cities potentially, I reckon, quite quick.
Well, that's what they've been doing over the last year is creating tools to make things easier for them. So I hope we're going to see something like that, obviously, but you want that bit of human touch on it as well, Madness. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think that's what's going to take. That's the bulk,
and especially
the core of cities will be the human touches. But I think
I think the thing creation is good. But
Next, just put some pics up if you want to look in Discord.
Where? That's a nice one.
In Discord, okay. What you need to bear in mind is as well, it needs to be accessible. It can be procedurally generated, but it needs to be accessible for people as well. You know what I mean? Because to some extent, you need to have that human touch on it.
Again, like, how with ArcCorp right now, it's very so right now when you're inside ArcCorp, you look around it, it looks like a vast sprawling city. But if you were to like bug it like a spawner ship and then go around, it's like you can't really see anything. Well, I think that because like they don't render that way, or like nothing's really designed to be there because you're not supposed to be there in the first place. I think that with procedural cities, that'll make it so that you can see more, because like it'll actually be there as opposed to kind of just being graphics. But at the same time, with ArcCorp, you are not a citizen of ArcCorp. You are a free trader going to a specific place that you've been allowed to go unload your wares and buy stuff. Like, I think that you'll never be able to freely fly over a procedural city. You just be able to see it because you're not a citizen. You probably get shot down. I think Chris's initial goal was that you'd be like on this rail, you'd be able to see this thing, you'd be able to like maybe steer yourself slightly. But if you were to fly out of that sky lane, I mean, if you go to ArcCorp anyway and you look around, ships are flying on sky lanes, exactly. If you were to get out of that sky lane, you're not a citizen. You're probably going to now be flagged and get shot down in a couple seconds if you don't get back into it, because you don't have a permit. I think that's probably what they're going to do to prevent people from going to many places, but also to lessen the actual
load times.
It'll exist, but you can't get there.
I'd be quite happy with all of the kind of flying around the city. Like literally you can't really do much other than enjoy the view, which is fine. And it'd be the same thing with, like I said, with public transport, like the trains and stuff. You can just sit on the train, but like kind of as if you're on those Starliner. You can kind of just watch go from one point to the other point.
I would love to be a passenger on Skyliners, though. Now that you mention it, like NPC Skyliners, like ones that like have a set schedule. A schedule that maybe a pirate can go and interfere with,
a risk at your own risk. You could potentially hold up a kind of, you could try and
a tour bus.
Or like a
Ask Bio, he'll sort you out.
Maybe like a Skyliner, or what's that thing called again? The 890 jump. Imagine that with subsumption, you've noticed that like you've like scanned like an NPC, and you've noticed that, oh, he's actually really rich. He's from a royal family. Oh, look, it says that tomorrow, or like next week, he's scheduled to go from here to there with his entire family. You could then follow that spaceship. You could like look at the times and stuff on like the departure board and stuff, and follow that ship, and then like hijack him. And let's say another player is waiting to receive that guy because it's like part of a quest chain, and then he's in the airport, and it's all of a sudden like arrival delayed. And I can imagine all that kind of stuff being linked in this game. They're not necessarily like royal family, whatever, but like just like, let's say a trade ship, or like a Starliner, a Galaxy Starliner that you want to get from A to B. I imagine that if ever it gets intercepted, you'd be able to see on the board like you would in a real airport, because it's all linked, right?
Yeah, so it's
Definitely,
like
yeah.
due in at this time, and all of a sudden it's no longer trackable or what's happened to it. Yeah, sort of
Yeah.
delayed or whatever. And you'd be
We
like, oh, why is
apologize
that
for the
delayed?
delays.
It's a good
That'd
one,
be
though.
awesome.
I think it's a very good one. Madness, do you want me to show these pictures that...
I posted them in. It's fine. It's just the pictures of the Xion. I was quite surprised actually when he put them up because it wasn't quite what I was expecting the Xion to be. But it's not a million miles away. But then it feels more like a Romulan-esque type of thing rather than
Is that Xi'an City?
yeah.
Okay.
It felt a bit more Romulan rather than what I was thinking. But that's fine.
This is what someone thinks is going to look, yeah.
And
It's a concept.
Nexus, this is just concept artwork. At the end of the day, with these cities and stuff, it's all still going to be heavily concept, which is I like because I love looking. I mean, I'm an artist. I like the art. I think it sets a tone and a mood, and you know, you look at all the great films; they have the most wonderful back catalogue of art and stuff. You know, sell the books. I'm sure Star Citizen could probably have about 5 books by now on art.
I think it'll be similar to the ships in terms of like this is concept at the moment, and like with the ships we had it where when they once got they got the art style locked down, then all the ships were being generated off of that art style. So I think we haven't seen the art style for their towns and cities. So this is probably could be one of many concepts. So until that sort of art style for them is locked down for their buildings, you won't see. We don't know what it's going to look like completely, really.
So are these concept ships then? I wonder. In that case, also, how old is this image?
Well, you're asking
Do we
lots
know?
of questions, and I'm intrigued. Nexus will be able to
Yes,
hopefully
is the
answer
answer.
some of
Yes,
Yes.
but it shows you the vertical ship that you were talking about there, and you know it's got
Yeah. Oh wait,
it's quite
there we go.
interesting.
2013 is when
yeah. I was
this.
going to say they're quite old. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That is some old stuff.
they've got the whole new Xi'an look and everything, so I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
if it changes considerably.
So ignore what we've just shown you. It's probably nothing like it.
No, but it's
Very
good.
old
I always
stuff.
like looking at the old stuff and then seeing the new stuff and then kind of going, you know, like when we saw with the jacket.
Progress.
Yeah, you see the progress. You see the
We've been
idea
going on
from-
about that jacket from Miles Eckhart for ages.
Yeah, and then
now,
we found
haven't
out from CJ Lee, that was just happened to be that it was a jacket that was for another character. They needed something quick, and it was just something they chucked on him.
Stick it on him.
Oh my god! All this freaking time, no one knew. So yeah, it's crazy. So that was the cities, which I did.
You want to do the weather?
Please, because I've had this for 4.
How long have you been trying to
5
do
weeks.
this? How long have you
5
been
weeks,
trying to do
guys.
this?
It's not going to be that exciting. 5 weeks I've had this little bit done, and this was
Build
to do
up.
with. It's a big build up for very little. So this is a conversation piece.
Mm.
And this is weather. So this is other games. So this I'll tee it up as we're showing it. So this is looking at weather mechanics that are already in existing games, which are fantastic. And I was wondering, I wanted to talk to you guys. Like, we already know that we're going to get sandstorms and stuff. We've already seen that in 3.0 and stuff. And Mad Max, for all Mad Max's flaws, the game, it had one of the best, like first time I've ever played a game where I was like, wow, I really felt like I was in a sandstorm. I really felt like there was a tornado and things throwing at me and stuff. And I when I saw 3.0, I was very excited for that. And so I was like, yeah, wicked, fantastic. And then Battlefield 1 again, has, I don't know if anyone else has played that game. Again, it's really, the visibility is affected and all this stuff. And I'm really excited to see how much more they've done with the sandstorm stuff. You know what I mean? Going forward into potentially, was it 3? When are we going to get planets? Do we know yet? Is it 3.1 or 3.2?
I mean, technically, the only difference between a moon and a planet is that a moon orbits another body. So, I mean, these things are already like planet-sized, I guess.
So we could get some of these things in the moons.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
It adds more reality. And again, this is a Red Dead Redemption. So this is again, Star Citizen are very quick to show their. The moon and the sun and how it orbits and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, that's fine, but it's very exciting because they've created it so that obviously everything's real,
I mean, like
other games cheat it, but it still looks and it looks fantastic. So
we know that Yella has a very sparse atmosphere. Whether or not it has enough atmosphere for actually like weather mechanics is another question. However, we did see in several ATVs ago there was a small vignette, a small video of a constellation in a snow blizzard, and it looked amazing. It looked really good, and I'm sad that nobody's actually taken that and just made a small GIF or something, because it is really good. I just googled it, I couldn't find it. But I'm sure we'll get weather effects, because we need those to make it so that it's necessary to use the ground vehicles. And we saw some of that in the Gamescom demo. Sorry, the Citizen.
Yeah, when it was restricted access. Yeah, and they've also said that the weather is going to, or them sort of things will affect your Mobi Glass and things like that. So you might get getting fuzzy or whatever, and that's part of the reason why they've done this with this texture. They can actually have the weather affect how you see the display in front of you, rather than having to put it on top at the end.
I mean, we saw there because Saul's going through them nice and sharpish before the Tomb Raider one, but you saw the water effect and stuff, hitting on the visor and all the rest of it. Oh, I mean, that for me is a must, absolute must. They're going to have to I want to have that kind of the weather,
feel.
Yeah, and I hope, for example, if we hit any acid and have acidic kind of things, you get that lovely kind of acid kind of crackling and sound effects, and the kind of the idea of it kind of and if you've got any damage to the I'd love for them to add, I know they're going to take it to the next level. Do you know what I mean?
I'm already I'm looking at these games going, this is already here now, and Star Citizen are so good at just taking things and just taking it to the next level. The guys at CIG.
Speaking of taking it to the next level, so weather effects are one thing, and I like that you brought up weather effects that affect other ships. But now I'm thinking you're going to need scanners to make sure that where you are right now, sure, it's fine, but you'd need to know that there isn't some kind of acid storm front that's coming to you in maybe 10 minutes time. You need a scanner for that now. Otherwise, if you're in a planet that's super volatile, I mean, in CitizenCon, we saw that video of the guy quantum jumping from a normal looking desert planet to a planet with a green sky and so imagine acid rain from there or whatever, Venus style, it's gonna wreck you.
Venus style.
Yeah. Well, they've got gas plants. They've got obviously the threat of the gas. Got the threat of acid. Got electrical storms. We've got snowstorms. We've got you're gonna have all these scanners.
Well, we've seen it in the Gamescom video from last year, right? We didn't see
scanners, but we saw.
But we saw the idea of what the storm front that would come, and he didn't know it right until the last moment, I think. But that creates an interesting gameplay effect as well, I think. You're PvPing somewhere with each other, and a big sandstorm comes, and maybe the losing party can say, "Oh, I'm going to use that to my advantage." The winning party can say, "I'm going to." It creates nice PvP situations, and I think overall, nice situations while exploring as well, man. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, it's definitely something you might be able to get on, say, that's one of the Cyclone variants was it had a scanner system on there, so you may well have to have send things like that out first to scan the area to make sure that it, like Maya says, not just is it safe, it's is this storm that's coming, because when it was a sandstorm, we'll just hunker down, but it's completely different if it's acid rain or something like that. You've got a different reaction to that, and
it's totally not related. When you in Final Fantasy, in the main cities, you have a weather man or woman that tells you what weather it is in certain areas at that point in time. That might be an interesting way of doing it. Maybe having a board where it says, "This is the weather information for today. We expect a snowstorm there. We expect a sandstorm there." And you might not know, but you know that there is a big possibility or a low possibility or something like that to make it give it a bit of a feel.
Do you think your spaceship will take damage, needing you to then eventually get somewhere to repair? Repair your spacesuit, because if you can't, you won't be able to stay out forever.
You might get stranded.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So I have a question for you guys. So speaking of hazards and weather, so what would be your most highly anticipated, or what would you love to see in terms of weather hazards, or any hazard on a planet that might stop you from having to land there?
I like the sandstorms a lot. Maybe because I've seen it. I think the sandstorms is going to. It's what I say. You can use it to your advantage, but it can also be to your disadvantage. And you managing that, I think, is going to be very interesting. But it's with all storms at the end of the day. You can use it to your advantage or disadvantage.
Right. I always loved in Inception. It's
You're gone again.
Oh, you know, in Inception, you know, when you had the tidal waves.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
And they had the
Yeah.
huge, and like they came in like, you know, because that's something I didn't think about ever. And I was like, and do you know what? To really answer your question, because they've already talked about it briefly, didn't they? Because they said space is weird. You can get like rain that's chocolate rain, or you know, like I would love
like schnapps. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's I watched that episode and it triggered me, and then that's why I did this weather thing like weeks and weeks ago, because I was just really interested in like, I did not ever think about like a tidal wave, like a planet where literally massive tidal waves circle it, you know, and it would be really interesting to have something where there is a repetitive threat that makes it so that you have to land quick, you get good reward, but there's a huge threat that you are going to be fucked.
Risk reward thing, yeah.
If it hits you, volcanoes, eruptions, like land masses turning.
So miserable. What about you?
Yes.
I think like the acid one would be quite an interesting concept, because it, like you said,
nuclear
wear or damage like on ships, not just so that you got the storm itself, which would, you know, could be blinding you and things like that. But then there's also, I suppose, like same with like a blizzard, you see the build up of the snow, or with the acid you may see like things rusting quicker, or the effect it has. I suppose it would also affect the stuff that's on the surface a lot more if it was a planet that was commonly to have acid rain or something like that. So yeah, I think something like that would be quite interesting to see and a bit different.
Yeah, chat was saying earthquakes. That would be pretty.
Earthquake would be cool.
Earthquakes, like shaking.
What about yourself, Meyer?
So, I mean, if it was just pure weather, I don't know, like a firestorm or something would be interesting. Raining fire, I don't know, well, like a Inception lava wave or something.
Meteorite rain or something.
I felt, meteorites in general. I found it interesting though that nobody mentioned like fauna. Like, well, in the Gamescom demo, we had sandworms. That's a bit of a hazard there for landing, don't you think?
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, if you were saying animals, like hazard animals.
Any hazard, yeah.
Any hazard at all, yeah, for sure. I mean,
that worm is going to fuck your ship up, man. He's going to crunch that in one go, man.
Yeah,
you could be sitting in the back eating your steak with a glass of Coca-Cola and then gone.
Tremors were running around.
Yeah.
You just see Kevin Bacon and be like, Kevin Bacon, where are you? We got
Just
tremors.
stand on top of your ship and you're fine.
Arnold Schwarzenegger coming out of the blue. Get into the chopper.
Get to the chopper. Yeah, all the insects as well. I mean,
insects could be interesting. I don't want it to be an overruling thing, though. The fauna, you know what I mean. I would love to see certain spaces where they are. You don't want to create that No Man's Sky idea where you have purple giraffe in this place.
Animals hunting you.
No, yeah, you want it in certain spaces, and I think as close as to reality as can. I know the big earthworm is not very close to reality, but I can deal with it, Meyer. You know what I mean? I can deal with the big earthworm. I cannot deal with pink flying ponies. You know what I mean? Ponies. No. You want or hawks with two heads. It's you want it to be a bit. Still that sci-fi feel, but not too much.
Not
blah
too
blah.
I'd love to see vegetation attacking you, things like that. So you know, like trees hitting, moving or something.
Trees hitting you,
like
tree ants or something like that.
Yeah, kinda.
That would be cool. I would see,
like
in Lord of the Rings, the
vines coming round and grabbing you and rooting your ship to the ground or something like that. You know, like as you go away and you come back and all these vines have grown over your ship and holding it down, you've got to try and get it out, something like that.
Field look. I knew something was coming like that from Kill. I don't expect any different.
Venus, giant Venus flytrap. You just land your economy in the middle of it.
Well, yeah, I mean plants that kill you. If you leave your ship for too long, eventually the tree kind of like grows over it and starts to try.
I would like to see random events.
Planets.
I would like to see random events. For example, if you park your ship in a not so safe place, random events where NPC smugglers will try and do something to it, or take it, and you have to take it from them again with your group, or something like that.
So you think what? So you're getting say for example you go off to explore and then you get
you come back and they're
Mobi Glass. No, you get an alert on you, because I would have it literally like an alarm on my
like an alarm on your car would be
Car
called
alarm
Mobi
going
Glass.
off.
Yeah, you go woo woo, and then literally your Mobi
Do
Glass
not come
wherever you
closer.
are would blink up, and the little red light would start flashing, and it would be indicating that somebody
Something in the
is-
vicinity or something.
and then you could maybe then switch to one of the cameras on the outside, because we know we can do cameras, so you could do the drone cameras, and maybe you could release drones from your ship to protect it whilst you're on your way back, or maybe you could do the electrical field, or you could set traps around your vehicle to protect it with
Rick and Morty style, keep summer alive.
Well, it might be interesting,
I haven't
these
seen
random events. I think that would be really cool, What did you want to say earlier, Meyer?
I was gonna say, two things. I think I forgot the first one now, but the second one is so you're talking about events like where pirates and stuff can attack your ship. Well,
NPC, it could obviously done by players, but the NPC ones would be a nice touch as well,
But that's something that they actually kind of wanted to get done during Grim Hex time. It might actually come in 3.0, where if you are a lawful citizen and you land in Grim Hex and you go into Grim Hex, they wanted a percentage chance where like a pirate would have, and maybe in the future it'd be like through an NPC with subsumption, but I'm guessing it's more like you call your ship again and there's a chance that it would spawn with a tracker on the bottom of it, and then you go somewhere else, and when you quantum jump somewhere else, then pirates will chase you because you are a lawful citizen. That's something that they kind of wanted in the future. But I just remembered the other thing. So it's about hazards again. So we've talked about hazards on planet side. Well, if you guys read the jump points, I think a few months ago they mentioned an area like an asteroid field, and people could go there for mining. However, there are pockets of gas that are very, very explosive, and so you have to be careful not to mine an asteroid that may have a pocket of explosive gas inside it, but also to watch out for just like collections of that explosive gas as well. And I guess that's another hazard you could watch out for.
A good one is the Expanse, where you have in the first. And I haven't seen the second series yet. In the first series, you have this shit all over her, with the crystals coming out of her, basically.
Okay.
More of the viruses. That could be a very, very cool thing to have as well. You go into a planet, there's a certain virus there. You need to clear that. You don't want to spread it. You know what I mean? It's that might be an interesting gameplay thing as well.
They did mention somewhere that they wouldn't do a virus.
Spoiler alert! Yeah, my apologies. My apologies.
Too much to program to have this sort of infection where you touch someone and then they're infected. I think one of the devs did say that before, that you wouldn't be getting that.
Entire city is dead because
you touched the plant. it's just
Speaking of which, I mean, so we have the Xi'an.
So Sherman says viral epidemics are interesting but not doable to be pervasive. Mm-hmm. Can anyone enlighten me with the word pervasive as being an import UK guy? What is pervasive?
Pervasive means especially of an unwelcome influence or physical effect, spreading widely throughout an area or a group of people. So
just saying, so you couldn't limit it, and then especially because of the player interaction, and you could, like Maya just said, the planet's completely dead, and then all their lore and everything else they've written, it's like it's screwed now because we haven't got anything.
Yeah, that's true.
It's too.
No, I mean more from player to player maybe than NPC to player. You know what I mean? More.
Even then, you've got loads of unwilling people that all of a sudden become sick, and again, it's too much. I think
too much. Yeah. No, I agree. Looking on it from that side, yeah, definitely, definitely. Let's move on. What we got, guys? So the happy hour one. I think we've all seen it. I found it very freaking interesting to see, and you obviously know you have a bit of an idea how they do it, but I found it very interesting to see how they started with something this big. And put all these things on the side, and then cross a couple off, and then add some things around that again, and I find it very interesting to see. You did it as well, Miss. You and me, we both like these lore masters, Guide to the Galaxy, that sort of things. I like that sort of stuff. Meyer does it on his channel. I think Meyer does the whole episode where he reads out the lore, and I always find that very interesting to see. Well, it's good to see the back end of it. Meyer has the voice for it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, galaxy far, far. Anyway,
I don't have any footage of it. There wasn't a lot of footage, but I'm interested to know what you guys think of such a process. Can
I just pause you just for a second?
Yeah, of course.
Because if you go to my name, there's something that will
if you've never seen this,
Little.
one of the guys, album. If you got an album at the top of the Google Doc,
Yeah.
I've added a little link to something sick. If you haven't seen this before, which somebody in chat linked it to me, and I've just literally clipped it, edited it in the last few seconds.
Okay, you want me to play this? Yeah.
Yeah, please do. And if you check it out, watch it, because it's to do with asteroid. Now this is 2017 tech, so this just blew me away. I watched a little bit. And you might have seen it, Mara. I'm not sure, but it's to do with impact, and you'll see the like meteor impacts and stuff. And I was just like, "What the fuck?" Like,
That is sick, right?
seriously? I was like, just seeing that explosion. And like, I was thinking, people talk about, like, when people are talking about, like, ultimate bombs and things like that and stuff, for planets and shit. And I was just like, yeah, okay, I think we won't get there, but it would be super cool, like, to have like this type of natural actions,
Or unnatural. In Mass Effect, that's how the Krogans did their attacks. They used to like divert meteors to cities.
That's true. That's true.
Wait, isn't that what the bug things did in
Starship Troopers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Going back.
Looks very good though, guys. Looks very
It does.
good.
Like, I was just like, this is technology for the. Anyways, thank you to. Hang on a second, sorry.
No, that's all right.
Alpha Zero. Thank you so much for that link. That was awesome. Appreciate that, dude. Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Now we come to, and I think it was, and this is something we discussed it on Saturday, Meyer, before we go into the whole ATV thing. What do you guys think of the new concept for ATV, and how do you think it's going to affect the community and content creators like ourselves?
Burn it down.
Burn it down. Burn the bridges.
Burn down.
Honestly, I love the well, I mean, like, nothing really much changed, although like
Not
the
really,
burn
no.
down thing, it was I liked it. I appreciated it because it was very raw. You got to see them all like, oh, we're tired. Just let us die already.
No makeup on these guys. They had the kind of
yeah.
the lighting was bad.
I appreciated it like wholly.
I
And,
did. I did.
Yeah.
But it's going to be different from moving forwards, I think. But I still think that it needed to be done. You know what I mean? I think
It's what everybody was asking for. We want to. Everyone's going, it's being held up. Why is it being held up? And now they can finally go, well, this is why it's being held up. Look, this is the bugs we're burning through, and these. And then guess what? This created these more bugs. And you know, the fact that we can sit there and see them reports and that back. It's not like they're making it up. They're going to say, yeah, do you know this thing we said we were going to fix? Oh, guess what? We fixed it. Oh, but we've also fucked 5 other things at the same time, and then just all like, oh shit. So yeah. It's good to be able to see that and get. A little bit
so
of
as
it.
well.
So, I mean, we kind of knew that that's what's going on anyway, but I think obviously some people read some of the reports and things like that and took it a little bit maybe too literally. So now hopefully this will shed some light on it to them. Maybe.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Oh.
I got a video of the
not
bug
you.
fixes
No.
that I'm no, not you.
I wasn't meaning you. And that.
Who? So I got a video of the bug fixes and the process.
Is it
etc.
burn out? Or is it burn out? Wasn't it? Or was
Burn
it
down.
Burn down.
So they all looked burnt out.
Well, they're working hard, These guys are not sitting still at the end of the day, you know what I mean? And
I watched the captain's table, and I completely agreed with a few of the comments that were made on there. I agree with Grit Spitter and agreed with Grey-Headed Gamer. At the end of the day, they've switched. The focus is bugs. So that's
Here
the
are the
focus.
bugs.
Here are the bugs. And this is it. And that's it. And this is, they've got to a point where they're like, well, we're just stuck fixing bugs. So here you go. This is what we're going to show you.
Watch us
We've got-
fixing bugs.
And I
I
think that this
appreciate
is
the
deflection.
appreciation.
They've got GamesCon to do. They've got CitizenCon to do. They've got to prep for the next, to inspire us to show people what 2017 to 2018 is going to bring. This is the period of time where they inspire us for the next year. So go ahead. Go do that. Go inspire us. Go show us some amazing new. They've got loads of cool new sprints and technologies that they need to come up with. They've got new things that they need to implement. They've got 3.0 to finish, for fuck's sake. Let's give them a break. And so I'm like genuinely like The burn down was fine. I would like to have seen them finish, obviously, the graph document before they gave us the burn down, personally, which they didn't have ready, which would have been cool, but it is what it is. I think
Definitely.
I honestly don't really care. That, if I'm being honest, it's like I'm interested to see how the next couple of weeks. They just all they need to do is literally make it like a 2-minute segment where they show us, here's the bugs that we fixed, here's the bugs that we haven't fixed, and here's a 1-minute video of gifs and gaffs of people trying to find this. They did here with the.
The free
So this is
That's all they need to do. It's fun. It's funny.
This is a video of
It's
CIG
funny.
employees after lots of work on Star Citizen. These are the symptoms that
I love
that arise.
The guy running in Sting. I was just like,
You know.
I was like, that's funny. That's all I need to know, really. It's like, yeah,
They just mocapped a really tall Langley man. It's not his fault that he walks
Yeah.
like that. It's just mocap.
just yeah. So it's cool. I mean, we've got the bugs. They've given us the information. Yeah, and honestly, there's nothing to talk about. So let's move on.
No. A big one: the closing and opening of ships and the breaching of ships.
All
I
right.
think is a very interesting,
That's true.
very interesting point, and I think, and I've been shouting it for a while. I don't want, and it's a good example is I'm sitting on an open platform outside with my Banu merchantman, and Jimmy from next door, 15 years old, decides to come in and start running through my ship. That is what is possible at the moment. You know what I mean? I think that this is going to fix this issue. If you're sitting on a planet and you're just chilling on a pad and you have a couple of mates inside and you're just hanging about and talking on Discord, someone needs to do a lot before it can come into your ship. You know what I mean?
I don't know if this is going to make it any easier. I mean, like, okay, if I'm on the pad, for example, currently, okay, you want to get into my ship. If you can't glitch into my ship, which you can do, if you can't physically glitch into my ship, you have to wait for me to at least attempt to get into the ship before you can get into it. With this one, you can shoot the doors down to get into it at any time.
Aye, but that is going to put you on high alert.
What do you mean?
If
If you're inside it.
Well, if you're inside it and you're paying attention to your audio, yeah, of course. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not inside it and you're running towards it, how quickly do we think?
And you have to think, Olisar is a
Railgun,
weapons-free zone. Olisar, for example, is a weapons-free zone.
Yeah, but I don't ask for Care Bears. I'm not a Care Bear, so
So,
I don't. I don't.
I think for me, this
Haven't been
game.
there for months.
You call it Care Bear, whatever you want. I like to role play in these types of games as well. What I said earlier, the personal housing. I think this is going to prevent the fact that if you get into your ship at Port Olisar, because there's a weapons-free zone in Port Olisar. Let's say landing pads are weapons-free zones. That some kind of Billy Bob is going to run into your ship, run around, open and close doors, try to take it. You know what I mean? This is going to prevent that sort of idiocy, as I call it at the moment, because you cannot spawn a big ship on a pad at the moment in Olisar without Harry and 20 of his friends crawling over it, holding on to the landing gear. Well, you know what I mean. It's something that it's been really annoying me a bit.
So, Saul, I mean,
Yeah.
unless within those larger ships as well, you can also set door locks for every single segment of your Caterpillar, you will get stowaways, even with door locks, because big ships like the Caterpillar have, well, it's not just one person going in. It's
Multiple,
freight,
yeah.
It's freight elevators, and you can call it down, you can step on it, but you can't stop Joe Bloggs or his friends to stepping on it with you.
No. But at the moment, it's
Still
very
glitch.
easy.
People are still.
Aye, but at the moment, as the iteration as we have it now, is completely open plan at the moment, and I like this sort of stuff because this brings an extra dimension. If someone wants to get in, he can get on your cargo door, but he has a how do you say, a possibility of being seen. You know what I mean? And now everyone can just open the door and walk in. Basically, if they shoot it, you have a chance to react to that with your mates or with your crew and counter that. You know what I mean? It's bringing a bit more fidelity and immersion in there, I think.
But what happens if someone steals your ship? Can they lock you out? If they press the lock button, does it lock you out of your own ship?
I think it's
kind
a
of-
That's an interesting one.
but ba-
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I was reading CIG Sarah saying
Yeah,
Well-
I'm not. By the way, Sherman, you guys at CIG are getting no grief about your lazy carry.
Oh.
Get this shit fixed, guys. Go ahead. I don't care.
Alright.
You go get it. You make it look as good as you.
We said it before. I think we rather, and that's my personal opinion. I rather wait longer and see things fixed. And game development comes with these things. You break things, you repair things, you bring new things in, they break things. And I think everyone, and I can speak for all three of us here, and for a lot of reviewers as well. We have a lot of respect for what CIG does and what it takes to create such a, because it's a big vision that Chris Roberts has. You know what I mean? It's
Don't put words in my mouth. I want 5.0 now. Get on it. Jump.
I
are you
will,
doing?
I will bust balls like the rest of them for everything. But right now, I feel that currently, I think, and there's enough shit said. I think it's just need to get together as a group of people and just be like, yeah,
and support.
Let's support you guys. Let's get this done.
Definitely, yeah.
What you do is fantastic. Yeah, things take time. Just hurry up. I mean, it's fine.
Just get it done. I mean, it's all right.
Oh, wow.
Take your time.
Nah.
Yeah. Take your time. I've got other games. I've got Destiny and other games I'm going to enjoy. So when those games are bored after a couple of weeks,
I know that Star Citizens is still going to be waiting and ready to come
So
in.
here's a good question about the whole door locking thing. On larger, mid to large ships, like freelancers or whatever, sure, like somebody can like blow up the back door and get inside. But if you have like a Hornet, if they blow up the side door, how do you expect to fly? I mean, like, I guess you don't need it to be pressurized or anything because you're wearing a spacesuit, but like
Well, they're not going to be able to blow up the side door. They'll be able to blow up the cockpit, right?
the
I mean,
canopy, right?
the
Yeah,
canopy.
but
So, I mean, if they blow up the canopy, it shouldn't really affect you, other than maybe like doing quantum jumping and stuff. Because in theory, you've got air.
Get wind
in
in
your
your
suit.
hair.
You've got air. Yeah,
if
you've
they
got air.
blow up your
So
canopy,
it's,
then
it's a convertible Hornet.
well, if they blow up your canopy, then the life support's not going to work anymore. So you're going to get like 7 minutes worth of oxygen before you have to like get somewhere, right?
I think Elite Dangerous has it right.
Exactly. Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool. I mean, it would be cool if they did it so that you had to like find a manual button to plug it in, so you could plug in your suit to the life support into the ship.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
So there's like suddenly you have to kind of go, all right, I need to press this button.
A little bit of a mini game where you have to press a certain button when it happens. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Someone's blown. So you could take off. You get a couple minutes, and then once you're into a safe part of space away from people, you can then, a bit like in Avatar when the guy loses the thing. He's holding his breath for a few moments, and then he puts on the mask, to kind of like, whatever it is when he shoots the thing, the guy says,
It's a good way to troll people, though, isn't it? I mean, if you come down, you can probably just shoot their cockpit out and then fly away, and then they're stuck. It's
fun.
Like, oh, no, they can't do anything.
It would be like they're panicking them. But if you could do it so they could just put, there's a little bit of an animation. It again, I love all this whole kind of giving yourself an edge over the opponent. If you're a smart fighter and you understand these things, you can if I blow up the cockpit, for example, take off the canopy on the cockpit, that then means that they then have to spend a few moments, getting their
mashing the button.
or whatever.
Or if you're a really good pilot, you might be like, I know exactly how long I've got before I need to press that button, so I can hold my, I can still stay on target.
I have a feeling that 3.0 is going to bring about a whole new kind of griefing, especially with the persistent ships. Like
railgun griefing is going to
not just that, but I mean, it's not even about stealing anybody's ship anymore, but it's the fact that your ship is now persistent. People can go inside and they can wreck stuff up and then leave, and then
that's what I mean by shooting the cockpit.
Peer from
Massive
the mountains and watch their ships go.
You just move all the furniture around to scare them, so they'd be like, "What the fuck? Someone's been in my. What the fuck? How did this person get in?"
I just get a feeling that leaving your ship or your vehicle alone while you go and explore a planet or something is going to be very dodgy in 3.0. You're going to come back with all sorts of shit. It's like,
I know, because there's only 12 people in the instances at the moment, so and it's huge. Have you seen them? Like, there's hang on.
but there's still missions are still sending you to a similar spot. That's the point, to try and get people together.
Interesting.
Oh, there's a great GIF I did. Oh, where is it?
Where is it, Madness?
Where the fuck is that?
Where is it?
God damn it! I did a
Leave a
great
steam on the deck.
Just
to show the scale. Oh no, where is it?
Yeah, we know it's massive.
Yeah, you know
It's
it's
big.
massive. You don't need me
But
to
what
show
they're
this.
saying is the missions themselves, at least the early iterations, are supposed to be kind of streamlining you so that you do meet up with people. Otherwise, but I mean, there's nothing to stop you
Aye.
exploring, obviously. But but even so, just as huge as it is, yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting. Interesting to see if you leave your ship, how easy it would be for somebody to spot your ship, or whether you would be able to just be nice and lost and
it's
kick it on a
what
moon
Meyer
on your
says
own
though.
for ages.
It's what Meyer says though. It's gonna bring a whole new level of. In the beginning, everyone will be doing his thing, and we all know how it goes. Everyone does what the game expects us to do, and do those things. And then at some point, people are gonna, because they're out of content, they're gonna try out the crazy shit again.
So now, how can I use this content?
We're gonna try and fit cutlasses into Starfarer. So we're gonna try and scoop up
It's not ruining another person's day. It's about entertaining your day.
No, it's
People
entertaining
get that
themselves. Yeah.
People get that confusion. They think that they're deliberately going out their way to ruin your day.
Some of them do.
Maybe a very small number of people do that, but it's still ultimately because that makes them happy. Does that make sense? Some statistics.
Aye, but that's always like that, man. That's always like
what
that.
it is.
People troll because it makes them happy, but it makes you unhappy. So
Yeah,
there's
they're not
always a
really-
receiving end, and there's always a initiating end to it. You know what I mean?
That's what they want. It
Yeah.
gives them a little sense of pleasure in their little hearts to know that your day is now as horrible as their day.
I like Brim's idea of having a pay and display meter. And you just have guards protecting you. You land on the planet and pay a guard to sit there and watch your shit.
Well, that would be this whole.
that can be biomechanical's job. You know what I mean? As a tour guide, he can sit there and.
Part-time tour guide, part-time pay meter. Warden, car park warden.
Do you think? Yeah, I was going to say. Do you think they'll have like little kind of scooter, kind of buggy type things, people going around, with tickets? Going, he's over.
Mind you, though, you're joking about that, but
he's
that does give someone an extra role in the game. When you'll be able to trade people and actually pay them, you can not a ticket meter, but an actual guard to guard your ship while you're exploring or something. That would be a reason for an extra crew member.
Yeah, NPC. I guess you could have a guard NPC. That would make.
But
sense.
then you're going to go to the point where who's going to be the unlucky one that has to sit there like.
No, NPC. You'd have an NPC.
Well, even an NPC, but some people want that as their orgs are security orgs. That could be one of their job things.
Or you could be a pirate, go into a crew of a ship, they tell you to protect it, and you piss off with it.
Well, yeah, that's always going to be a thing, isn't it, with pirates?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't.
So never let biomechanical guard that ship of yours, because he will be doing tours in that. On the left, we have the planet Sol.
Is it
We
like
used
when
to
you go
live
on-
here.
Is it like when you go on a holiday and you leave your car at the airport? It's like they go and borrow it, do a few tour guides with it, and bring it back.
Bring it
I'm sure
back.
it didn't have this many miles on the clock. My ship was fine when I left.
Why are there bags of crisps everywhere?
Well, I think this ties into the ownership system that they were talking about before, where there's two kinds of ownership. There's legal ownership, and then there is ownership. Like legal ownership means you bought that ship. It's your account. Yeah. So like you bought the ship. It's in your account. You just spawned it. You've landed it. You've gone off to do a mission. And then there's physical ownership where somebody can come around the corner, smash into your ship, go inside and take it away, and then it's their ship until you then report that ship stolen. Then you have to then wait for your ship to come back, but now they can't like park it or recall it or something.
Yeah. What is up, Madness? What's going on?
No, Killblocks just said, he says, yeah, sorry, Madness. Not sure long ago that he said you'd never troll people, but did you not clinch Grim Hex last night or the night before to kill a new player? Nope, I never pad kill anybody at Grim Hex. I do in a ship.
Defending his honor.
I do kill people with guns at Hex because at the end of the day, you can kill me with a gun. There's no.
Oh yeah, it's
fair.
always that Mexican standoff when you're both in the airlock, and you're like,
and I killed 2-3 people multiple times. It was hilarious. It was fantastic. But I also Killbook, to answer, I think you're probably slightly getting confused with a couple things. I posted on
on Spectrum about PvE and PvP, and I was giving the option saying, you know, what about this? What about why don't we have PvE? And basically, the backlash towards me was epic. Everybody wants me to kill them, so I am quite happy to. That's the way to do it. So now, at
basically saying he's not a
ICC,
carer.
at
not a
ICC, at Hex, anywhere I see you, I will attack. Before, I was being very diplomatic and kind. No matter what you're in, an Aurora, whatever, I will kill you and I will blow you up. And that's it, because I will use you as target practice. And then if you bitch and moan at me in chat, I'll just say, here's the link, here's what I posted, and this is the reaction. You guys voted for this shit, so deal with it. And that's it.
Now there is a glitch in Grim Hex where in the main reception lobby you can step right next to the hatch and then it's no longer armistice. Is that what you did?
No, I go into the airlock and then I blow them up.
Right.
He basically goes into the airlock, has a Mexican standoff with him, and he's like, who's going to shoot first? I'm going to be the one that's first. Pow! But that's what I do, because if you're not the one shooting, the other one shoots you. That's how it goes, basically.
And I'm often, Maya, you have to understand this, I'm public enemy, so the minute that I step outside the door, I've got a great big little arrow on my head.
They need to fix that, to be honest.
Come and kill me! So I don't trust, so it's yeah.
I think that's Grim Hex is you don't trust anyone.
No, I teach
now.
But I think that's the quality of the area. That is the feel you want to get there anyway. You know what I mean? That's why you are a pirate. That's why you are in Grim Hex for those moments.
Yeah, it's fun. The minute that I'm in the lift, I'm literally watching for the guy.
I do the same, yeah.
And I see them, and I know that they're immediately like you can see them drawing, and it's like, and then if they kill me, I'm always like, oh, well done, you know. Or if I'm not paying attention and someone shoots me in the back of the head, I'll be like, it's a little bit annoying for a second, but I kind of go, well, I've killed my fair share, so I need to take. I wasn't paying attention; it's my fault, you know. And I deal with it. And then other people get really salty about it, but I'm just like, hey, it doesn't cost me anything. And I know it's teaching me to be on my guard, because when I'm in a situation on the planet somewhere, that instinct that I've learned to be on my guard will pay off at some point. It will pay off at some point. I will instinctively turn and I'll see somebody and kill them, and I'll be like, thank God I've been practicing this. And
I think. Go ahead, Miz.
I was just going to say, don't you think that could potentially ruin areas? That if they have any area where it's just going to be no armistice, you're telling me that everybody is always going to be kill on site every time.
But you just don't go there.
Liz, that's what they wanted. That's what they wanted.
No, that's not what they wanted. It's what a few people on Spectrum said to you. That doesn't mean the rest of the world wants it, man. Well, I don't give a shit if it was 10 or 15. There's a few more back.
Meyer, what do you want to say?
It's an old document, but 2014, Death of a Spaceman, Chris Roberts says that even if you are a pirate, if you kill somebody, you are scum. I don't think that at the end of the day, I don't think he's not calling you scum. I'm sorry. But basically,
I'm calling you scum.
At the end of the day, they don't want it so that in an armistice zone, in a non-armistice zone, you can just freely kill somebody. There'll be reasons as to why you should and should not be able to kill somebody there.
That needs to be risk and reward as well, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but when
I don't do it for any. I don't do it for any reason.
But
when
factions and stuff come out,
I get paid $250 every kill.
But when factions,
go ahead. Go for it. Sorry,
when factions and stuff come out, you're not going to be able to just like freely kill somebody around Grim Hex, because then your reputation with Grim Hex is also going to be lowered, especially if you kill them and not just like rob them or something. Like if you look around things like Grim Hex and stuff, look at the ceilings. There are automated turrets. They just don't work yet.
Yeah,
but when they do,
I personally, I don't really want that. I mean, I get frustrated with it. I mean, personally, I don't want the pirate area. I want the pirate area to be, you know, a safe-ish area, or consequences are befallen upon you rather quickly at Hex, you know, the same as they were at Port Olisar, because I want to be able to land there, restock, refuel, get shit, whatever, and have a good time, sit in the bar.
It needs to be a safe haven. It needs to be a safe haven for the pirates as well.
It needs to be like John Wick's Assassins type of building, you know. At the end of the day, it's like if you go against the people there, they will meet you and they will kill you, and it's the one safe place where all the pirates get together, all the assassins get together, knowing that they cannot break the establishment's rules. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, the establishment will kill you. And I like that, and I want that, Maya. I do. I really do. I just, at the end of the day, I do it, kill people because it's part of the game, and I get
is the public enemy. And
I think at the moment, what we don't want people to forget at the moment, this is the best time to train your gunning skills, to train your dogfighting skills, because there is no consequences at the moment. We're not losing anything. So I say, and that's my personal opinion, the best time to get dogfighting and to get PvPing done and to get FPS combat done is now. Now the consequences are not there, and people get salty about it when you do it, but now is the best time to train it. And when you get killed, make sure that next time you don't get killed, that you are the first one to, it's all, at the moment, this is one big training ground, for me at least. Yeah, and then when the game is going closer to release, I know how to fly, I know how to FPS, you know what I mean? And it only makes me better. How many times have you killed me, Madness?
Well, this is what I was about to say. I was just saying, like, you and Toby and other people who are predominantly being, who want to play the game in the end game, want to do trading and enjoy the more of the casual side of the game. But, there's nothing there at the moment to do. And so, apart from just doing ICC missions, which is incredibly boring after a while. So you and Toby have wisely embraced the more combat side of the game. Not because that's what you ultimately want to do in the long term of the game, but just because it's fun to do. And you've actually got really good at it. I mean, you were very good at it. I mean, you stopped a bit now because you've been doing other things. But Toby, he's streaming it all the time. He's basically turned into full. You
broke Toby though.
I broke him.
He's a nice person.
I have. He is now.
He doesn't read his chat. He ignores everybody on Twitch. He kills anything that flies in front of him. You have ruined him.
I've turned into the dark side.
Ruined him.
Yeah, basically, guys, don't listen to me, otherwise you will join the dark side. Basically, I am like the Emperor. I've turned to.
He is a Batman, but it's going to help you in the long term. It's going to help you with flying. And Killblock says, they might change the flight model. They might, but then we do it again. We're streamers. We want content. We want to do it. And indeed, I haven't been doing it because I've been very busy in real life, and for me it's been a bit harder to stick to my schedule lately. But if I will be streaming again, that is what I will be doing again. And I'm a bit different than Madness. I still handle the rule like I don't shoot anyone at ICC Probe, for example. I only at PvP in Korea because I still want people. Although I do not embrace it completely, I think the factor of fear needs to be there for everyone. It doesn't need. If I'm flying my transports and I can just sit there like this with one finger in the nose and fly these transports out without any fear or any danger, it's not fun.
That's what everyone was saying, that they want that thing. So I mean,
it needs to be there.
Mara, you play more the less combat side of the game, right?
Star Marine.
Star Marine. Just only Star Marine at all, completely.
He is a sniper extraordinaire. He's a sniper extraordinaire.
Do you know what? That will pay huge dividends. It's a good sniper.
Meyer and that sniper rifle. I've had him against me multiple times. Yeah, I do not go close to him when he has that thing in his hands. That's how bad it is.
Broken. It
is broken, but
they're refactoring it soon. Right now, it's a railgun.
Yeah, it's they need a ballistic. They need a ballistic sniper rifle.
Yeah, that'd be nice too.
With bullet drop on planet and then obviously there's no bullet drop. Sorry, out of atmosphere in 0G, great without it, but
it would travel slower than a laser anyway, so it'd be a bit more skill orientated.
It'd be very cool.
Interesting.
Like they could have the camera on the bullet as well, like they do on the missiles. How cool would that be?
Because that's diegetic.
That would be so cool. Little camera,
like how the bullet. That's how you have like tracer fire in real life. Like you fire like a tracer round. You're firing a camera round, and it also hits them as well.
Oh yeah. But seriously, you don't need. It doesn't need to be died. Whatever that stupid word is, you don't need that shit. You just need it to be fun. And how cool would the slow mode camera sniper rounds to the back of people's heads or the front? It'd be so good. It'd be awesome. People would love that shit. Honestly, for PvP players who snipe him, especially if you're a sniper who's been waiting patiently for 20 minutes, 30 minutes for somebody to step onto that debris, to step onto that crash thing that they've set up. They've placed a beautiful trap for somebody just to get that round on someone to steal their stuff. That is like gold, especially if you can add
red X marks on the floor. Yeah.
Exactly.
I know
you're looking down.
What you mean?
You're like, what the hell? And then like, poof, headshot. It's like that's for that person, for that moment, it's amazing. I know. I'm for
You can watch the
PUBG,
replay on your Mobi Glass.
Yeah, exactly. You can just watch it
That'd
slow
be
motion,
interesting.
rewind.
And I think
it
this is a
backwards.
very good intro, guys, to, I think, for me, a great episode of ATV, and I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Have we not started AtV yet?
No, not really. Not
Mobi
really.
Glass. The Mobi
Not
Glass.
really the Mobi Glass stuff. Where it's 12 o'clock, we have not started, but this is how it always goes in the Addicted Podcast, and that's what I love about this podcast. We do not stick to any doc that we make, although we pick stuff out of it.
Don't care.
I do the document, and then I talk about everything but what I already created. which is hilarious.
Exactly.
But the Mobi Glass stuff,
Whew, I love it, man.
you can pull it up. We've got the. I mean,
I think the first one is the terminal. I think that's a good thing. The terminal and the Mobi Glass star that we had. I'll bring the video up for you guys.
Well, what's interesting about the technology, Sol, is render to texture. So, for people that don't understand what render to texture is, and I believe this is right. Now, please, you people can correct me, but it's to do with textures that are baked into an object. Then they become part of the object via mapping, and then they can be used to display the textured object.
Google is doing its work today, man. This is it.
rapidly in 3D. No, I wrote it down. I wrote it down.
okay.
I had to write it down because I needed to make sure that it was right.
Exactly.
Such as graphics displays in game engine. So
Right.
it's to do with baking in, basically. It saves. Anyone knows anything? Yeah. Anyway, something like that. Mara, you could probably do it far
Yeah,
more.
that-
Job.
So
What
I mean,
rendered texture? Is?
so that's what it is. Yeah. So when you go to ArtCorp and you see those videos, those are being rendered to that texture. But the rendered to texture tech that they're getting done for Star Citizen is way beyond that. Because it's not just rendering something to texture, but it's rendering entire scenes that are happening elsewhere to the textures, and they can be 3D scenes and holograms and that kind of thing. And that's really the novel part of it. It's not just like a case of it's a video. Like
Yeah.
if you've seen, not to do any plugs, but like if you've seen Bulkheads episode 5.
Plug it
I should
away.
invite that up. Yeah, if you've seen Buckets episode 5, there's a scene where Brock, one of the characters, is in an elevator shaft, and there's a screen pops up, and the screen is of him moving around, and there's all that kind of stuff happening. That's not rendered. That's not the rendered to texture. It's a mimicked version of what's going to happen in this game. But really, it was just a video that Phoenix Feather had cleverly rendered to that texture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for everything, right? Though, so it's for everything that's kind of basically a screen or some sort of interaction kind of.
Yeah,
screen.
I put a still up
Uses
on
this
on
technology.
stream where you see these boards above the doors. I don't know if you guys can see it on stream yet. There's a bit of a delay, but that's a very good example of render. I would say render to texture, right? And these can change. I think, right? You could switch them, or you could say, lift is coming down or lift is going up. For example, the middle one. And that's an interchangeable one, if I'm correct, right?
It's kind of, well, that's less of what we're talking about. We kind of went over this last week because this was last week's ATV. But the render to texture. So each object has a texture on it. That is how you see the details of it. And so what Maya's saying is, we showed last week when they had the captain sitting in the chair and they were changing the light. That is happening somewhere else, being filmed, and then it's being put onto a different texture, which, on this one you could see is like a brick wall. Well, if you replace that brick wall with the video texture, you can then put that on the wall and you would see that scene from somewhere else on the wall. So everything in the world's got a texture. So you can see on those consoles that you're using, they changed the texture that's on the front to the video scene that's somewhere else. And again, like we said last week, with the billboards, it means that they only have to render that scene once to this one texture, and then they practically copy and paste that texture onto every single billboard in the room, if you like, and it'll all show the same thing, but it'll only cost one lot of processing to the one texture element.
Just a question, what I find fascinating as well, though, is that they can do it in this 3D hologram style.
Yeah.
Right.
Now that was quite impressive. I was puzzled and trying to figure out, in my head, I was kind of going, how are they doing that? Are they creating?
Magic.
Are they? No, but I was trying to figure out. I was going, are they taking the space that's in 3D and then minimizing it and then rendering that into making kind of an area, kind of a cube, kind of an object container?
The way they're managing
area?
to do it is because they're filming, because the scene is live. They're filming the actual scene, so it's a 3D scene in the first place.
So,
And then
but
what
they
they're
must
doing
be
is they're
using
just
object,
showing the 3D scene.
But it must be an object container, right? Within this, because it needs volume. You need volume within the 3D space. They must have to have like an area. I honestly, and then when you see later on the Mobi Glass, they make it bigger and smaller as well. It just fucking blew my mind. I literally I was just trying to figure out like how they did it, and I was just like, my brain was. I don't want to stress my poor little brain, but it was like wow,
Doing overtime.
Matt really breaks it down here on the Twitch chat as well. If Saul wants to read where he started as well about random texture, he talks about the existing videos.
Yeah. So you want me to read it out? Yeah. So
If you wanted to,
this is.
oh,
No, I'll leave it for what it is. But I was scanning through two parts of it earlier, but being the host sometimes makes it hard to catch up with chat sometimes. Sorry, guys. There's a lot is going on in the background as well. I can see what Matt says, and it's very. I find it very interesting, and I have the same idea that Madness had. How do they get to that point? You know, how are these separate entities? Are these filmed scenes as
I get how they do it flat. I
says-
just like it was the 3D side of things that I was kind of like, how
So
do they get the volume? Like I was just thinking,
like,
how do they get that? And then
a
scale
camera-
as well.
yeah, like a camera is looking at that other scene, and so it's rendering what that camera is then seeing. And then from what I gathered as well, because I'm no coder, I'm simply I'm simple myself. They said something about like
we're
to
all
make
just
sure that-
English.
We're all just people, really. But what they then said, like to then make things more optimized so that you can have like more of these things in one place, then they start doing some trickery so that, for instance, the backdrop isn't exactly the backdrop that's behind that character, but it's just like an object probe of the map. Like for instance, right now, if you go into ArcCorp and you look at a puddle, and the puddle's reflection is of ArcCorp, but you're not in there or anything. It's literally just the probe of the area. And when you move to another room, it's a probe of that. So that's what they have behind the characters. And then that's what like they use to like optimize the scenes and stuff. But it's really crazy technology. What's amazing is like the fact that, as you said, you can make it into like 3D holograms. You can like project it to like puddles of water. You could have like hallucination scenes and stuff. And
This is a good one, and that and let me bring it up that Sherman just mentioned, and that's something that I find really cool. So you have, I think it's a Starfarer, and these displays popping up, and I've stilled it for you guys on the stream. This looks so freaking sick, and I don't know if you guys can see it already.
Yeah, the 3D.
It's on the Twitch.
Oh yes. So that's
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That is amazing, and especially, and I think this is what Madness means with the little the Aurora being there in 3D model on that display and having the engines showing in 3D above
it's
the.
that, and it's the other one where we've seen the ones that you did last week as well, where you see the physical human, and then you'll see later on with the Mobi Glass where they've done it so that you can actually see your character, and then they actually then make the character get bigger and smaller. Now I believe that the character gets bigger within a set volume.
Yeah,
so
the
you're
box.
zooming in
Yeah.
exactly the box, and that was the thing. That's where I kind of was like, that must be the object container within an area. So the 3D space that this is popping up to, it must be consistent between those three. You know,
Yeah,
it's
the
like
texture
exactly
is
the
in a
same.
box. I don't know how it works, but that's basically it's being projected within a box.
Yeah.
So that's why when they zoom it and spin it around, it's the actual, because you see on the last week's one, the actual big model sitting at the desk, they span that around on the hologram thing. So I presume it's like a box texture. I don't know. I don't make games, but.
So one really neat thing about all of that is when one of the devs then said that you'd be able to use that technology to talk. Well, so you can use your Mobi Glass to have a video call with another player using this technology.
Amazing. It's
Yeah.
gonna be crazy. And like I
Very
said,
nice.
we said last week that you'll be able to see things burning down behind you as you're just chatting on there. It's behind you. He's gonna shoot you in a minute. It's like, oh shit, too late.
Gonna make for interesting gameplay. The next one up was the Pip Boy, guys, as Madness likes to call it.
I do. I call it the
Pip
Pip. I call it the Pip Boy.
Mobi
Or the
Pip.
the future Pip Boy. Everyone calls it the Mobi Glass or whatever. I just call it a Pip Boy.
It looks like a
Most
fit.
people call it the
posh-
Mobi Glass
posh-
because that's what it's called.
call it the Posh Boy. So this was an old video. This was from
A Fitbit. It looks like a Fitbit.
That's what I thought first.
So this is just to show the design of it. Again, we've already seen this before, but it does look nice. I hope that they do actually make props and models and things. I'm sure someone's going to 3D this.
Designed by Jeremiah Lee.
I guarantee, yeah, it was designed by Jeremiah. And I imagine it will be 3D printed and it will get on MVP. Someone who ever 3D prints it will get them.
Oh, combustible props is probably already on it, to be honest. Like,
Yeah,
he's already
yeah.
seen that and he's already made one.
Yeah, exactly.
So listen,
Shoe-in
Madness,
for MVP.
to fulfill your wish, you will have one of these in real life, and when you press a button, an iPad will pop out,
Yes.
and it will be able to do your thing, basically. where you
Well,
always
I've
wanna...
already seen that they're doing holograms in real life, so I'm hoping that by the time Star Citizen
Maybe
comes
one
out,
day, yeah.
the hologram,
Will be there.
the hologram technology in real life will have met the same, and we'll be able to all stand there with our sweet little pieces of gear on our arms, our iPhone or whatever, and we'll be able to press it, and then the same thing will be hologram projection on my arm. How sick would
Hologram
that be?
technology in real life isn't quite the same. I mean, like in Star Citizen, it's being rendered into space with plasma. In real life, it's a bunch of
his...
screens.
My.
You're ruining his
You're
immersion.
ruining his immersion here,
Stop
Meyer.
Right. Do you
This
want
isn't
to
the
come
reality
back?
that I want to believe in.
Would you like to come back? Because seriously, like, stop right now. Seriously, don't ruin it. We can talk about it later. I know.
One thing I
that-
will say with this ATV is that people are going to go around with really aching arms. I mean, if you've got a lot to do on your Mobi Glass, standing there for a long time, you go, oh my god, I can't do it any longer.
The drone salute will never be the same anymore, because it could be just someone watching his Mobi Glass.
You're gonna need a little, like a little stick that's attached to your waist.
Well, that's
that
what
you
you
can
get,
just
little
prop your arm
tripod.
up.
Yeah.
A little prop your arm up. Be like, okay.
Well, the suit already has, it makes it easier for you to move, you know. They have it in real life nowadays for people that have had been in really bad accidents. They basically have these not really robot legs, but legs that support their movement, and it makes them able to recover and walk, you know what I mean? This sort of technology could be in the suits as well, for you to make it lighter for you to move, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
it would be
it's something
neat.
really interesting.
Yeah, it'd be neat. So, like, I imagine that this Mobi Glass interface is going to be able to interface with your ship, so that when you're sitting in your ship, you don't have to bring your arm up. In fact, that happens already. It'd be neat that, like, you could if you didn't like the whole like transparent background and stuff, you could like walk to a screen on the wall somewhere in the Port Olisar and access your Mobi Glass that way too. Like just like a local PCs. I think if this was real life, they'd give you the option.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think that'd be quite good, like transfer it up to a screen to use that instead.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good idea.
You just have exactly the same on a screen. Exactly. You just
Exactly. Yeah.
exactly.
But
exactly.
without having to have your wrist up there, you just like you
Yeah.
logged in.
Yeah.
What
The
do
other,
you
the
get?
other
What,
thing as well, though, is at the moment we have problems with everybody walking around with their mobile phones like that constantly. Like, is it going to be the same as does it? Literally, everybody's just going to be walking around like that. No one's going to talk to each other. Oh, I'm going to do a video conference, and you're literally standing there looking at each other, but doing a video conference instead. Is that what Star Citizen is going to become? It's like,
Question for you: can you put it on your right hand?
no.
Yo, that's sci-fi, man. That's just that.
Yeah.
Freaking me out,
left-handed
you
only.
dude.
You can only have it on your left hand. What if you're left-handed and you want you're in the world?
Tough.
You shoot with your left hand. You want it on your
And
right.
they'll
text with your
probably
right.
bring that in anyway, you know what I mean? They'll probably have an option where you can switch in between which site you maybe want to use it.
Do you think that they will be having to make it in multiple languages as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
So do you think it'll have to be flipped for Arabic so you can read it from right to left?
Buongiorno e crai astro.
Do you know what I mean? So it'll be the other way around.
So if you're trying to spy on someone, reading, you might be able to read their things. It's a different
Yeah.
language. Ah,
Yeah.
damn it.
Can we get it in Klingon? That would be
Get it in
interesting.
Korean. You can
That
get
would
it
be
like I
interesting.
wonder if but the thing is the way I look at it is this way. You know, you can get your iPhones. You can get these screens where if you're not looking directly at a certain angle, you can't. If you're not looking at it, you can't see it. It just becomes like a sheeted kind of like a glass. You know, I
Right.
was like, surely that would be in the
Distance is going to be a factor as well, you know what I mean? And
being able to see
Yeah.
it. You know, to see what you're looking at, you can just in theory. The idea is at a certain angle you can't see.
they've
shit.
said it in the happy hour, I think not this last week, but the one before, the scaling of things when things are further away from you. And I think this comes in place with the Mobi Glass as well. The further away from the Mobi Glass you are, the harder it's going to be to read it. The closer you are, the more chance of being how do you say, be noticed that you're doing it, but also risk reward. It's all risk reward, I think, at the end of the day.
They've officially said that you're not going to be able to peer over somebody's shoulder and look at their Mobi Glass, because at the end of the day, it's like an invasion of privacy over like immersive gameplay. If they're like using it to talk to somebody, that's invasion of privacy and stuff.
Oh,
like
true.
That.
Yeah.
There's only one thing you want to pay attention to. That's the top right-hand corner if you're a pirate. That's the bit that says how much money they've got in their bank.
It'd be neat if that was dynamic and everything else was static, but I think they've gone on record as saying like don't expect to be able to like do that. Maybe you know on a ship you can see the terminals and stuff, but definitely not their Mobi Glass stuff, because
that might be personal, you know.
Can't you? So
it's a similar thing in MMOs. I don't want everybody to know maybe that I'm befriended with a certain person, and I see what Meyer says. It's invasion of your privacy, and I can understand what CIG says. I see Madness's aspect that you want to see certain things, but I think a friends list is personal. You know what I mean?
If you're a pirate, you want to know how much money the person's got that you're about to rob.
Ask them first.
Yeah. But you will tell you.
But I just think it leads to, or potentially there's the option for hacking.
Yeah. So I mean, it'd be nice to hack different like specific information that's conducive to gameplay, like how much money do they have, what missions are they on,
like to stay close to them. Like Assassin's Creed, if they're walking away, there's a certain area that your hack works within, and if you go outside of it, your hack breaks down, and you have to, and then people who know can kind of go, hey, hang on a minute, that guy with the red jacket, he seems to be getting awfully close.
I mean, I understand where it'd be nice, because there'd be like gameplay implications where, like, if you do hear. Right over here, you have to look behind you because like somebody's probably looking at you.
He's trying to find out.
Depends on what he has eaten the day before. If it's a lot of garlic, then you can smell it from far away. If someone just had a nice little candy, it might be pretty harder to.
It's like a Grand Theft Auto as well, where you have currency that you carry on you, and then you had the you had your
bank
phone to drop money into the bank. So you the idea was you never really carry too much money on you, because obviously if someone you don't want to have thousands and thousands of pounds on you. But when you're doing a job, for example, and you just got paid or whatever, then that potentially you are ripe for the pickings, as it were, before you can transfer the money or.
Yeah, definitely.
Or you could be hacked. Maybe you can, wonder if hacking for me is something like that's similar to EMP warfare. I think it's a game mechanic that would be really fun and exciting to hear Tony Z and the guys talk about hacking and how if they see any potential for that within the game mechanics. I don't know if everyone knows in chat if they've spoken about it on any of their chairmans and stuff. I'll be really interested to hear. With the Mobi Glass being so beautiful now and so finished, it would appear polished. Where hacking kind of comes into it, be very interesting.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the new design compared to the older design? The Mobi Glass, the band itself. I'm talking about here. So.
Band.
Yeah, so from good-looking diesel watch to Fitbit, basically. Just let's call it that.
Fair. I mean, also there are multiple different versions of the Mobi Glass.
Okay.
The Fitbit one that you can see right there on the light armor guide. That's literally just that's the civilian version. There's also heavy-duty versions for if you're in combat and that kind of thing, and they show versions 1, 2, and 3 of them. They're not like of different thicknesses. I think you might
but what design would you guys go for? I like the bulky stuff. I don't know what you guys.
You want to use the bulky one even in your civilian clothes?
Yes.
If you wanted to, I guess.
I don't know why, but
you like a bit of chunk. You like a bit of chunk, don't you? So you like a bit of chunky stuff. You like it meaty. You want to
no. But I think it just looks good. You know what I mean? When I was younger, and I don't wear a watch anymore nowadays. But if you see my watch, I have a big diesel watch. I like that, the square, big watch. You know what I mean? And I can imagine that some people like it more thin. But I like the look of those things. And I think in the game, the old one that we had, or it's still there probably, but the older design that we had, I love that. I love that thing.
I'm surprised that there's only one company
making Mobi Glass. Where's the kind of like the handmade behind the market stall pretend
It's
copy version of the Microtech?
it's
The cheap knockoffs.
Do you know what I mean? The one that's got the pretend logo that doesn't quite look right. You know, the Drake, you know, the Nomad version, or because we've seen the yellow one that what's his name's got, you know, in terms of the color and on his arm it was like a big yellow display and it looked, you know, huge.
You mean the shipjacker?
Shipjacker, or not just, it wasn't just Shipjacker, it was on Miles Eckhart.
Miles Eckhart, yeah.
Right.
Miles Eckhart
Well-
had like kind of a big yellow one. I know this is just a placeholder, but and that was also maybe old stuff, but I just kind of, I'd love to see a bit more
Is that-
variety in another
If you
company.
want to see maybe like a sneak peek or like some indication as to maybe what different designs of Mobi Glass from different companies may look like, then the Mobi Glass itself is designed by Jay Lee. I mean, so if you look at the shipjacker concept art that was just posted on the
Jumping over-
Disco thing. That you can see, you can see that Mobi Glass on his wrist is not the Fitbit thing, but it's designed there by the same guy. So there will be different things for different strokes for different folks.
And you can zoom right into it.
Well, this is, and I hope that you were saying, Meyer,
It's
as well.
just a first iteration, basically.
Skin, like if you could kind of tweak the design, or maybe you could have a different kind of font, or you could have a different kind of layout to it, or you know, all that kind of really. I mean, this is advanced stuff here. We're talking future stuff. At the end of the day, I just want the basic version first. It's fine, but you know, it would be really cool to see how they do. You know, because they've done the HUDs. You know, we've done that whole kind of alien-esque type of like old school sound effects, and I think I've got a couple videos here with the sound actually, Moby.
Oh god.
Yes, that's the next one, and I wanted to slowly go into
I
that
took my
one.
earphones out for that.
So
I've added a few of the sound thing.
we're gonna play the video with the Mobi Glass and the sound.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bring it up for you. I'm going to turn the sound on, and we're gonna play it.
to an electric
Yeah,
signal.
let's
But
do it, 'cause
instead, we're
this is
able
cool.
to catch
Be
those
quiet.
electromagnetic
Be
fields
quiet.
created
Half the video gone now.
I don't want to hear this.
Here we go, guys. Yeah.
into an electric signals, but instead we're able to capture those electromagnetic fields created by electric devices. So you could actually hear hard disk
I've
or
got
a computer
the stream
working,
muted,
or
actually, I
you
just
could
remembered.
you can basically hear like your mobile phone working under the hood and things like that, and that really help us to bring into an electric signals. But instead,
That was the first one. Let me open up the second one for
we're
you.
able to capture those
Second one's the main one.
The second one is the main one. Oh yeah. This is what I was looking for. Very nice. Bear with me. We're going to open this one up. Here we go. I like that sound.
Yeah, I like the sounds as well. So
It's a very rewarding sound. You know what I mean? It's very rewarding.
yeah.
It's interesting actually that they've gone down the route of actually using actual sounds of moving mechanics and stuff like that. The act of making sounds for tech and stuff, especially like the sci-fi tick tick tack 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 sound, like the really high, like the synth one, is called it's called reifying, right? And you don't really use like those kind of sounds, like how they make the Mission Impossible. Like to make that, you literally get a pot, you go ting, and then like you take it into a sound design thing, and then you speed it up and compress it, so it sounds like a beep, and then you like pitch shift it so it sounds differently. It's interesting that rather than just using traditional routes, they actually bothered to what's the sound of a smartphone and use actual sources. That I don't think that's ever really been done before.
I love it.
It sounds like it fits right. It sounds like it fits.
You know what it is, and I don't know if you have it. I myself own an iPhone, but I find the sounds of a Android phone very satisfying. You know, when you remember the little raindrops when you tap the buttons. I don't know if you remember.
Right.
The little drops, it's so satisfying, and I have the same with this. When you switch a page, it's a very satisfying sound. You know what I mean? It's a very, I don't know. It feels like you're clicking something and it's doing something. You know what I mean? And with the iPhone, I don't have that. I don't like the iPhone sounds, for example. Although I just have the brick because the thing still works. But
when you first said that, I was thinking you were talking about actually hearing the internal mechanics of the drive inside.
Oh no! I was on about the sounds when
you know what, Meyer? I'm glad you said that because I was thinking, wow.
No. I'm talking about the sounds when you type in your PIN code, for example, on your phone on the Android.
Right.
The same as you switch a page on this one. I love that boom, bleep, bleep, boom, boom. You know what I mean? It sounds really satisfying.
If you're hearing lots of noises and sounds, so I've got a cell for you in the side.
I'm hearing a lot of noise now for some reason. I don't know what it is, but there it is again. Ooh.
That's a problem.
Ooh.
So the sound effects is really cool, and then they've done. I don't know if you've seen the star map.
Star map was sick.
That was sick.
Yeah. So I've got a couple videos here on the star map because I couldn't.
So we got the old footage. That was what we're going to start with, and I'll let you do the honors, Manus.
No,
here we go.
I've got the delay, dude. So you have to kind of lead.
So this is the footage of the old star map.
Yeah, I think it's really good to see. I'm glad that they do it. I think that CAG should do more of it. Maybe I don't know why they don't do it, but they should show more of. I end up having to do this normally: show the old footage versus the new footage.
Mm-hmm.
It really shows how much better this is.
Yeah.
Do you agree that it looks a lot more? And I don't know if you guys watched the Lore Master's Guide to the Galaxy. This is very close to what they use when they're clicking through the star map systems.
The arc map.
The arc map basically.
They wanted to bring that arc map into the game.
Exactly, and I think they really did it well. With the see-through, with the parts cut out halfway. They really gave that feel like it is coming out of that Mobi Glass. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's uber sexy, man.
Here's my question: We're talking about the UI and the rendered texture. The size. If this is what I was saying about the zooming out of it, the zooming out was basically the full screen. Like literally, the full screen is the Mobi Glass. So it would appear that it's not limited to just like there didn't seem to be an edge to the world.
There is an edge, but
you couldn't see. It was literally it must have been the full screen because I couldn't see an edge on his arm. When you see the red line, see the line, it's going off the screen.
Yeah, there's an edge. You don't see the edge. It's not like it's boxed in, but
you only have a certain field of view.
They showed you last week that what it is that as the images get close to the end of the box, it fades automatically itself.
I know you said it was fading out, but I was curious to know.
It's just the parameters of that box is huge. I mean,
seems pretty massive.
Screen, yeah, you don't. I mean, like you said, it actually looks like the map is covering the top half of his whole body.
And when you see the 3D view, the map looks like it's even
the stars are around his head.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So I was really. This is where it completely threw me out because I was like, where the fuck is the object box? I was like, I'm completely getting this wrong. This is what I mean. It completely blew me. I was thinking,
no, because they're separate apps on the Mobi Glass. There's nothing to stop them having that particular app have a completely different object box to the other one. So if you click map, they could make it fill the whole room if they wanted to. And you're sitting there and you've got all stars, and you basically stand in the middle of the map.
That would be cool, though.
You drain the Mobi Glass battery pretty fast, though.
Yes. And if everybody can look at your screen, they're going, so that's where he's going.
So you raised a point, then. Does it have a battery?
Some kind of it's like there's a reason why you don't remove it, because it's actually like feeding off your own life force.
Implanted.
So it's very much like a Pip-Boy in a sense.
Well, I mean, like if you look at the HUD there on that image, there's oxygen. I think there's power. There should be a suit power as well. Maybe that you might actually be able to run out of suit power, and then your Mobi Glass can't work in.
I was wondering if the Mobi Glass, as the power goes, so say if you're ever in a situation, the Mobi Glass would start to flicker and die, like damage state to the Mobi Glass. You know what I mean? If for example an EMP we're talking about EMP grenades and things. Can that effectively shut down your
Mobi Glass? I hope it makes it flicker. In that same video, there is like they're showing different, like they increase the brightness, they decrease it, they change color, and then they also make it glitch out.
Yes,
Well, they definitely did say it would be able to glitch out, and they did say different things will affect it to make it glitch out.
Like, can you imagine landing on a planet with a really high electromagnetic field?
Yeah, and it just like you barely see it, sort of thing.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. Then there's like aliens on there and Vandal or whatever. Be like,
I like that you can use it as a tactical. I like you can use it as a tactical map as well, and I think this is a good video showing it. And we saw it in the previous one as well, where they show Grim Hacks. And he basically show Grim Hacks in all his glory with all the things. That makes it for people that want to plan tactical raids or maybe do tactical things. That makes it very interesting. And it's what we've seen, I think, in last week's one where you saw the guy, but the guy was not there, but he was sitting in this bowl and he was explaining things. That way you can bring it up into a big bowl as well and say, okay, we're going here first, then we're going there, then we're going to attack via this way. It brings up a whole new tactical aspect to the game as well.
I hope. Sorry. I hope that we were able to do that in the future, because things like the Idris and stuff do have ready rooms where it's basically like a classroom and there's one guy standing next to a projector. I hope that that's not just for NPCs in Squadron 42, so you have like you can see what they're doing, and I hope that players will also be able to do something similar to that, like even if it's just the one player, because I can't imagine everybody like in your group standing in one place and they're all pressing the same button and trying to render the texture and like everyone's computer melting,
exactly, and it brings in all new types of aspects of gameplay, the tactical one, maybe even people teaching other people how to fly ships and say, okay, we're going to go here first, there first, the tour guide thing. Maybe a very stupid example, but it's something you can let your role playing mind go wild, and that's something that we all. This game is one big role play thing at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that makes it really alive.
Do you know what I kind of like when I see the map system and all this stuff, and also like I said, there's all the inventory, there's the potential for the trading side of things, which I'm very excited about. There's all that great stuff. There's just so much component parts. You'll see later on. On one of the other videos, there's the customization of your character here, which you see here with the guy and choosing the costume and the clothing and the suits. It's just fucking unbelievable. But what I was really interested in terms of the map was that, can we set up locations? Can we mark locations?
I think so on our Mobi Glass.
For other people to be able to track.
No.
Because
that's going to be beacons.
Can we have custom maps? So what I've been somewhere and you haven't been, I have that information, you don't. So I've been to this planet, you haven't been to this planet. I have more information on this. Can I sell you this information? Can I trade this information? Can I give you it? Can I, you know what I mean?
That is eventually something they want down the road, that you'll be out. That's the whole point of the
beacons.
For exploration, right? But
then new ships and things like that, you can sell the plots and you sell the information.
Yeah. I think to a certain extent, because I think they mentioned the beacons before as well, you know what I mean, where you said, okay, we need to leave a beacon behind for people to see. But I think a digital version on your watch does not mean you can go there. You can go in the vicinity of there, you know what I mean? If you have not discovered that location yet, you can say, okay, like from here I need to jump there, I might be very close, and then you can start exploring it. I think we will see that. I don't think it will be like, oh, I have this location, I'm going to give this to you, Madness, now you can jump there, you know what I mean? That would be. I don't know.
I think that might be.
Isn't that exactly what it is?
Yeah, I think that may be possible in the future.
But that defeats the whole thingy of the beacons that we've heard about earlier, right? Then I agree with you guys. Don't get me wrong, but I think they spoke about the beacons before. That will then defeat the whole point of the beacon.
Well, no, the map you'll be able to see the map. So like if it's like a planet, maybe you wouldn't have a point.
Madness,
to jump
what are you doing?
As such.
Internet's being weird.
Okay. No, it's right.
Just suddenly gone fucked up for some reason, so just bear with me. If I do disappear or whatever, just it's nothing me. It's literally my internet's just gone fucking crazy.
I know what you mean. I think there's an element between showing like a planet that you haven't been to, which would be a regular jump point. I think being able to give someone your location of a beacon. Well, I don't know. Maybe you could still be able to do it, because isn't that the whole point of the beacon? You putting it down. If you want to share that with your friend that hasn't been there.
But you don't need to, because you have it on your Mobi Glass then at that point.
But I'm thinking more than just beacons.
Yeah.
Just
stars, maps, moons, places that we have been, mapping for, like areas that you guys have never maybe traveled to and stuff like that. I wonder if we're going to be able to have, like, for example, at the moment they've talked about they're building more assets to the planets, to the moons, to make it more interesting. So, which means again, there's going to be much more exploration. I don't know how many hours it is to travel, on a Nox from one side of the planet to the other side of the planet. So there's all these great locations. I'm thinking again like No Man's Sky in terms of like they have these kind of like sites and points and stuff. Can you record this information? Will the Mobi Glass be like a live recording, and we'll be able to save the information as you now travel around the world?
Captain's log.
Yeah, exactly. Captain's log.
Interesting. What I found the most interesting thing, and I think we mentioned it on Saturday, Meyer, on the captain's table, the fact that I don't have to go to the freaking shop to know what kind of clothes I have. I think that's a really big thing that the Mobi Glass is going to bring. The fact that I now can choose my clothes in my Mobi Glass, and can basically say, okay, I want that t-shirt, I want that pair of jeans, instead of you going back to the shop and only the guy from the shop remembers what you bought there. You know what I mean? Is this going to open up and I think they mentioned it before, a backspace kind of thingy, or
well, the bags they are going to have bags and stuff, because they've already talked about, Jay Lee said it's just going to take hard points on your back and stuff, so there will be backpacks and rucksacks and these things. What I
presume the first iteration of this on the Mobi Glass, what you're talking about, Sol, is you'll pick your outfit on the Mobi Glass, and then you'll have to go to a locker, press the locker, and then it'll put that outfit on.
That's interesting.
It's not, you won't have bags at the start. It'll just be literally you pick your outfit, then you go and put it on. Same with your flight suit or your armor and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. I think that's
a good way of doing it. I think that's a great way of doing it.
You would talk about beacons and stuff before, though. I think there are going to be multiple different kinds of beacons, because we know that the Recon Cyclone has like a deployable beacon. It's that disc that's on the top of it that you can deploy and label, and that's where you know what to go. If there's a point of interest. If there's a way of actually saving a specific location as a point of interest, you'd probably need beacons as well for that, for whatever reason, or you'd have to remember it. I'm sure that
maybe a combo of the two, maybe.
I mean, like, what I'd love to see in this game would be like an in-game notepad, to be honest, because I'm sure that when you're on a planet, you'll be able to, as among all other readings, there'll be a longitude and latitude reading as well, because all you'd have to do is just like note that down. And then you would know without a shadow of a doubt that on this specific area of this thing is this thing, and that's your own information. As for selling that information, to other players, you'd probably have to tell them the longitude and latitude. That's how it works in Elite Dangerous anyway.
Well, interesting. I mean, they explore, because they always talk about, like, if you are a certain class, if you do a certain skill, you know what I mean? Like, the idea is, if you're a combat person, you're going to have guns and shit. If you're an explorer, you're going to have the gear for exploring. And so maybe to improve exploring, you have better gear for doing what you're talking about, recording that kind of information. You have to have the gear.
I would love to be able to like do just stepped into Bottle's crater and it's very smelly. Captain log off. I'd love to have that. I'd love to have like a list of my own logs that somebody else could find if they find my dead body in a cave. If anybody
definitely
tell my wife hello.
Do some live recordings, videos.
Good stuff, this AtV. I loved it. Very good stuff.
When I saw the Mobi Glass, just on thing is, what I was disappointed that I didn't see was the ability to apply parts to ships. So you know how you've got the ship customizer in the Arena Commander. Have we seen that system on the Mobi Glass yet?
I feel like they haven't showed it to us because they didn't think it's very juicy or pertinent information, because we already have that in game.
Yeah.
And they only have so much time to fill.
But the thing is it all right? Okay, so for you, I don't know. I mean, it's different for me. The most frustrating part of the game is I cannot set up my ship in the persistent universe. I have to constantly go out to the main menu to set up my ship. I have to go to
Can you no longer do that in Olisar? You could like walk to the ship and do the whole thing there. Unless you patch that out.
Because the minute it's because it's bugged. Okay, so
right.
If I select, say for example, I have 4 tarantula guns and I want to put 2 tarantulas on whatever
Mm-hmm.
He don't bother because
I think he's gone.
But I understand what
Maya,
he's
can
saying.
you poke him? Can you poke him for a moment? See if he's alive.
freeze frame.
I understand what he's saying.
Can someone clip this for us, by the way? This would be a very nice one to... So on our... This is a little bit of madness. He's one of the best dogfighters of the UK, by the way. I think he's gonna be gone. I'm gonna turn him off for now. If he comes back, then we'll
No,
turn
because
him on
there's
again.
gonna be all like cameras.
Oh,
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh.
Should've just left him.
no, I didn't do it. He hung up. So this is the result. Let me see if I can fix that quickly.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to move it anyway.
Because if
So
he comes back, I'll just.
I can't leave it like this.
No.
So we got Meyer. Bear with me, Meyer. We're gonna get you back. Oh,
We'll be back soon, Tim.
we'll be back soon. Well, I think I got Meyer back. There we
So
go.
I think to answer his question is that I don't think we know, do we? They haven't shown it on the
No,
Mobi
we
Glass,
don't
whether
know.
can
They
do
haven't
it.
shown
It's
it to
possible
us.
it's going to be on there. It's possible it's not. It might be too complicated to put it on there because
Oh,
of all
Miss
the
is coming
intricate
back.
spinning the ship around and finding all the dots and stuff.
Everyone's back.
It's already there, you know? It is already there.
True.
They just have to just port it over to the Mobi Glass.
Mm.
I don't see why it wouldn't be an issue or difficult. They just have to wait and see.
I'll probably just screw my ships up there by pulling things off by mistake because there's a little tiny dot. But yeah, you can zoom into the ship and everything. Yeah, I suppose so. I hope that they put it on there because it's just another thing that because they've obviously got multiple apps on the Mobi Glass, so it's just another.
Don't you think
on
that
there,
will
really.
be terminals in the stations or in the places we go rather than our Mobi glasses? As there is a lot more involved, maybe you need to do it at a certain ship. At your landing zone, or where people can change it out for you. It's would be a cool thing to do. You go to a terminal. You say, I want these things on my ship. The more things you want to change, the longer of a wait time until you can have your ship, maybe. And I think that would be a really nice thing to do. Say, I'm only changing 2 guns. That's going to take you 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Oh, I want to change everything around. That's going to take you maybe a maximum of 4 or 5 minutes. That brings a bit of immersion in as well. You know what I mean? Internet just died. Internet just died, Madness says. So we will be doing it without Madness for the moment. I don't think he's gonna come back. Everyone, so my apologies for the intermission there, and we had to fix those things.
I don't think we've got much to go through left anyway. So
we had the smuggler one. You want to
leave that?
Leave that one.
Put that. Yeah, well, Madness said put some more in the document, so I just put that as an extra discussion if this doesn't last so long. But we've gone on quite a bit.
I think we'll do the round and Miss, what are your plans for the upcoming week?
So this week is going to be some more Star Citizen on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Paint and Prattle as well, or?
I'm probably not going to do Paint and Products. I think Des is away doing some D&D, so I'll leave.
You want me to come and sit there and talk shit all evening? I'm very good at that.
Well, I'm not going to be painting his model, but I don't know. Maybe I'll see whether I do that or just play a game instead of something else.
No worries.
But other than that, yeah, I don't know if Toby say he's got his thing on Tuesday, his space thing.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. For everyone that hasn't seen it yet, go ahead, Miss.
I'm just gonna say it's well over my head, but it's really interesting stuff. So
What's this?
it's good. So Toby and Avalon have got a space podcast, and Avalon's an astrophysicist, so they talk about black holes and all that sort of thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
Meyer, what are your plans for the upcoming week?
Well, you can find me on twitch.tv at Meyer_test, where I'm going to be playing a lot more Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous. Is what I tend to do. Out of all that stuff, you can find me on Twitter at Meyer_test. What I'm doing over the week, well, streaming, that kind of stuff. But I also do voice work for a Star Citizen machinima called Bulkheads. And we are currently doing some work on a few features. You can find us at bulkheads.tv. Well,
very nice. For everyone,
it's awesome.
Definitely watch that. Yeah, for everyone in chat, Imperial Nexus has copied it in there for you. All links to Myers' Twitch, Twitter, and the YouTubes as well. Coming to myself, I want to firstly apologize to everyone and also to Imperial today. Depot did not like my name change on Twitch, so I have not been able to call everyone out that followed today. I want to thank everyone with this one for the follows, and I posted you need to do something on the forums, and then I'll change it around, and it's taken a bit longer than I expected. Next to that, I will be back on a schedule moving on forward from this week. I will be doing a lot of creative stuff. I have a couple of logo designs, a couple of things that aren't really assignments, but things that I want to do, Star Citizen related. So I will be designing a beer brand for Star Citizen and a wine brand, as we touched upon a while back. So I want to do some cool stuff to fill up my portfolio and to show people what I can do when it comes to creative, Photoshop, Illustrator, and branding. I wanted to tie that in with Star Citizen, so it's going to be more of that for this week. I will try to play a bit more Star Citizen than I used to do. And for the rest of it, we'll be back. A lot of creative stuff. I expect a lot of creative stuff from me. Cool. What did you want to say, Miss?
I was just going to say thanks everybody for watching and following, and also Bio wasn't here this week because his PC's broken. He's streaming PC, and also next week's podcast I think was meant to be on his channel, so that may have to be changed if he doesn't get it fixed within.
I don't think Madness is here next week either due to some IRL stuff. So it's either I think it's you going to be you're going to be hosting then, Miss, if that is going to be the case.
Okay. So I didn't realize he was away next week as well. Okay.
I'm not sure. So not confirmed 100% yet, but I think there was some. So it's going to be the Soul Miss G _ podcast.
That's no problem. So yeah, and if anyone's just tuned in or missed it, we will be putting this up on YouTube, on the Addicted channel, and also on SoundCloud, so you can listen to us instead of looking at us. So please do give us all follows. Make sure you follow everybody on the cast, especially Maya as well.
Thanks, Maya, for being here today as well.
Thank you very much, Maya, and thank you, Nexus, for modding as always.
Exactly. Maya, thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully, no worries. Hopefully in the future, Maya will be on again one day, but that's something we'll chat about. Maybe he hates us all. No. It was a pleasure having you here, Meyer. Madness as well. I think for Madness, definitely check him out. If he's streaming this week, it will be his Friday diner stuff and more in the mornings, his dogfighting. So definitely go check Madness out as well. I know he's not here and he cannot add it in, but that's definitely something I want to add in for him.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. So Madness, what are your plans for this week, man? Tell the viewers.
My fucking days, we're back.
Oh no! Don't do that.
Well,
did I fuck it up?
Yeah, just stay on voice.
Oh.
Just tell us what you're doing this week.
Okay, sorry guys. Yes, I am going to. I'm sorry. For some reason the internet died. I don't know.
And I'm going out of the conversation now. Let me tune it again.
Sorry guys, love you all. Yes, this week I will be.
Can you mute yourself on Skype for me, buddy?
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh my god, he's messing up my whole thingy again. He's messing up my whole thingy again.
It's not me. The internet just come back. It's literally.
So you're a hand in Mrs. Screen at the moment.
What? Oh. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The internet just come back. It's like they must be doing something. They must be testing something.
No, it's alright, man. It's alright. Well, I'll do it quick. I'll try and quick fix it here. And there's Miz again. There we go. And we have a little bit of Madness. Yeah, there he is. I don't even have to do anything. Everyone's back again. I can see your kitchen though. Let me fix that quickly.
Where was I? No, I'm not going to continue anymore. We'll talk about it another time. Yes, that's so random. Random.
This week, what are you doing this week?
What are you doing this week?
I will be. Unfortunately, one of my work colleagues has left. Was shall we say fired? So I've had to take on their work. So I don't know. At the moment, I want to stream, but I'm really busy now because I've obviously had to take on all of their work. So I'm gonna have to play it by ear. I want to play. I'm gonna try and play some Pug. Play some No Man's Sky,
PUBG, he's trying to say, by the way, everyone.
Yeah, PUBG, sorry.
PUBG.
PUBG, sorry. And Star Citizen, of course, I'll be playing as well. So I'll try and stream to my schedule as much as I can, but you're going to have to bear with me over the next couple of weeks whilst I figure out exactly how much work I have to now do. So, yeah, schedule may change. I may end up having to do an evening stream. If I can agree with my wife to compensate now for not being able to stream at all, probably. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. That's me.
Everyone, thank you very much for being here. This was Addicted Podcast number 33 with Miserable G, a little bit of madness, our special guest, Meyer Taz. Thank you for being here, Meyer. We are going through our ritual. We are going to host someone from the Star Citizen community. I've been looking around a little bit. We have a lot of podcasts. I'll let you guys decide. Where are we going? Who are we going to give some addicted love?
While you look, I was just going to say, anyone that asked a question, we'll save them up and we'll answer them next week.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
If you have questions in there, definitely check us out next week. We will pick those questions up there, and we'll.
Don't worry. We will go over all the questions for sure. We don't want.
Exactly.
You can host who you want.
Well, I always like to host someone with camera.
Yeah.
So, Moonshiners.
We have someone filming his keyboard. I don't know. I don't know.
Moonshiner's the only one of the webcam.
Shall we give Moon some love?
Give the Moon.
Let's give Moon some love. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to throw the host to the Moonshiners. Awesome Star Citizen streamer and astronaut extraordinaire. Definitely go check her out. Give her some love. If you're not following yet, make sure you give her a follow. And we'll see you all next week.
See you guys.
See you later.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Get out.
Get out.
Leave me alone.